So, love sax. We should get some love sax in here. Love sax?
Oh,
maybe. Oh, yeah. Oh, no way.
What are those? The B59s, right? B69s.
That's yeah. It had to be 69.
On the love sack. 69 on the love sack.
Well, welcome back, Robert. We're back for another week.
Yeah, we're back for another week.
Well, I mean, we were supposed to have Mr. Tim McDonald here today. Unfortunately, due to a unfortunate circumstance, he was not able to be here. So hopefully everything is good.
Yeah.
Dog was sick.
It was a dog. Dog was sick. So hopefully he gets better.
I mean, we all, anybody who's got a pet understands. It's like having a child.
I went through it last week.
It's a family member.
Man. I went through it last week.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
That sucks when you lose a pet.
Yes.
And it's not to say Tim did, but obviously best wishes. And hopefully we can have him on a future podcast.
Oh, we'll definitely get him on because he has a lot of great stories.
Yeah.
And he's been in the scene for a long time. So
yeah. Love to sit him down and pick his brain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Talk
gonna be a good one. Definitely gonna be a good one.
You know what grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears, man?
Nice. Well, last week we talked with Scott, and there was a segment in there where we were talking about, getting your local band or getting started, and how do you make enough, noise, right? And Mike had mentioned, what does a band got to do to make enough noise to bring, the eyes and the ears of people from like L.A. to Reno, and how do you do that? And one of the things that he was talking about was getting out there and playing shows.
Yeah.
And I got a love-hate relationship with local shows.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, what is it?
Well, so obviously it's got benefits, right? Because if you're going out and you're playing shows, whether you're a solo artist, you're playing your own thing, or you're playing with a band, you're going out and you're playing for, at least at the very bare minimum, you're playing for friends, you're playing for family, coworkers, things like that.
Right.
Where people, you're like, hey, we're playing our first show or whatever. We're playing a gig tonight, this weekend. You should come down, right? And you're able to get yourself some exposure. And maybe there's some people that are interested and go, hey, I've never heard you guys play. And I'd love to come see it.
Right.
And so, you get that exposure from them, and then you build that, like, you guys were great, or,
that's
whatever.
a roll of the dice, though. I mean, because a lot of times it's usually the same cycle of people running through.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately. It depends on who you're playing with, though, too. So,
right.
I mean, you could be playing with multiple bands, too, so they're bringing in new people. So it's usually always that, but it's not like anybody big where they're going to be like, oh, we really need to sign these guys because they're...
Right.
Like, you're not getting that.
No. But you're also... building a relationship with other bands that you play with locally too. You get to see these other groups that are on the same grind as you. They're all trying to make their way in the world, and they're doing their thing. And so you get a chance to meet these guys and gals and go, hey, this is what we're doing, and hey, I've heard about you. I can't wait to hear what you got, right? And so it's another way to network. It's another way to gain friends in the community and be like, hey, we're playing a show in a couple weekends, whatever, and we'd love for you guys to join.
Right.
And so
I've seen you around town.
Yeah.
Oh, you play in a band? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. Right. So that's one of the benefits, and that's kind of like the love part about what we do, is where I'm like, yeah, that's a really cool thing to say that you have.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is when you play local show after local show after local show, like you said, it gets monotonous because you're playing to the same ears, the same people.
Right.
It's not exactly new to the people that you're playing to, unless you're writing new material.
Yeah.
And how often are you doing that? You know what I mean? Obviously you get a big hit. Even today you've got big bands that are playing their big hit from early 2000s, 90s, or whenever they got big.
It's just the one.
It's that one song.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't
We're going to roll on this for another 20 years. Let's get it.
That's where we got our royalties from. We got to play it.
But see, they did the same thing, though. Mm-hmm. So they did the same grind. And that's what like. When I think about it, I think it's like, if you're in a band, that's how I always thought about it. You're always going to be playing these types of shows where it's going to be the same people and over and over again.
Right.
But what I enjoyed is that kind of close connection with everybody, because if you are playing these big shows, you're a little bit you don't have that connection. That's why I love playing house parties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people call you want to play a house party. Not recently, I'm a little bit older now, but back in the day when I was younger, like the house parties was. Dude, I had the best times at house parties. I know you had some house parties too.
I think my first time ever playing live with a band was in my mom's living room. She opened up the living room and we just rolled in there, and
I'm sure she loved that.
Oh, she loved it. My mom was always really, really supportive of everything I did, especially music. So
yeah, that's cool.
She, we were like, yeah, we want to do that, and she was like, you can have my living room.
Right?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we.
You know what you signed up for?
Well, my mom's a metalhead.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, she's more. If you asked her like, what decade would you? You've been around, what decade would you like to go back to? And she's like, 80s.
Yeah.
No time flat, 80s.
Yeah, I don't picture your mom going,
you
know what, Cannibal
music,
Corpse
I love the
is
style,
where it's at.
I love the movies, everything about the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right, well, okay.
So she's not a Cannibal Corpse fan.
No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she does like her White Snake. She likes her.
Who does it?
Motley Crue. But she likes.
Have you seen Motley Crue? What they look like?
Oh,
yeah, recently.
Oh man.
No, I haven't.
Like, has anybody seen what they look
Vince.
like?
I've seen Vince. So Vince Neil, I've seen a lot of his stuff pop up on the feed.
He looks like a pregnant dwarf.
Yeah. No, my favorite is when they do a side by side comparison of the Abominable Snowman from like the 1950s. What the hell's going on?
We have a
car horn going off.
The honking. The Canadian truckers are out front.
Canadian truckers are out.
They agree with my comparison with the Abominable Snowman from 1950s Christmas Carol and Vince Neil.
You rude bat. Can't you see the red light on outside?
Yeah, we're live, Dick. Shit, were we 5 in? God, every freaking time.
I think we made it. No, we're good. We're 12 in. We're 12
Ooh,
in.
nailed it.
The wrong kind of red light.
Yeah, but
I know what I'm doing.
No, but the other side of it too is, I mean, it's not like I've been playing for 20 plus years or anything like that. But
right.
I've played in a fair share of bands, and I've played a lot of local shows.
Right.
And one of the things that that drives me nuts is, when you're really trying to get out there, when you have everybody like, hey, we really want to make it somewhere, especially when you're young.
Right.
You have that dream, that vision of like, yeah, let's make it, let's do it. We're young, we got, we're working our asses off, and
we're
we
ambitious,
got no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Let's drive for this, right? And so then you just get let down because you're playing, the same hole in the wall venues. And the hard part, and especially nowadays, is there's a lot less places to play now.
Well, yeah, especially now, there's a lot.
And the future kind of looks grim because there's not a whole lot of companies or businesses that are looking to do that, and the ones that are, they struggle trying to either stay afloat or they're trying to outsource, trying to find these big bands to come and kind of fulfill that. All right, we played a lot of local shows, and unfortunately, people are fucking cheap, dude.
Yeah, but are you talking about a specific genre? Because I don't think it's going to go away completely.
No, I don't think.
First of all, because they want to get sales on the bar. So a lot of the times when a venue is like booking local shows is because they want to get people in there to buy drinks.
Yeah, but you have to remember, you got a local band, and let's say it's 3 bands, and they've played there dozens of times.
Right.
After a while, you start kind of thinning out the herd of the people that are like, look, we've seen you.
Yeah, I've seen you
every
about
month,
20.
and,
Yeah.
Like, it's the same place,
Yeah,
the
right.
same bartender.
You're playing the same songs?
drinks. Yeah, it's the same set.
Same song?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I've heard these before.
I feel kind of, I don't know, I'll see you there.
Yeah.
And then they don't show.
Yeah.
Or, and I get people have schedules and stuff like that. And, the hard part
That's
is,
horseshit. Make it to the goddamn shows.
Get your ass
Yeah.
there.
You don't have anything. You're not doing anything. You're watching Oprah.
Yeah. But then there's the exposure.
Who's watching Oprah?
Yeah,
I am sorry. That was a little play on me.
I said
That's what I do on my off time. I go and watch Oprah.
Robert's DVR's got Oprah just stored up. Decades of Oprah.
You get a car. You get a car.
I just actually keep that one on
hard
repeat
on
because I get excited each time. Is she giving me a car? She's telling everybody gets a car, and I'm sitting here waiting for my car. It's been a while now. Oprah, waiting for that car.
Waiting for that car.
I'll say this in the current situation, right? Like, I grew up in Reno years before you guys grew up in Reno because I'm old as shit. We didn't have the internet.
I can't tell.
We didn't have the internet.
No.
We didn't have cell phones. And I feel like back then I had a better idea of who was playing where just from flyers being stuck everywhere, word of mouth.
Right.
Now there's like the internet, right? And I don't know who's playing
Word
travels
fast, but
so you don't think
it depends
there's
on
more,
who you follow too, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think there's still I might be wrong on this, but if you post something, and somebody, it's so that goes back to sharing. So you got to keep sharing it. Somebody else shares it, but it goes off to like. So I have like 700 followers. This other guy who shares
Popular
it has like 1,000. I mean, it's reaching a lot more people, I think. In that sense, like if you put them on a poll, it's not like everybody's seeing that. You're gonna get one by maybe somebody will glance up and I gotta wait for this damn light, and I gotta glance. Oh, look at there's a show.
It's weird though because I don't remember being at a whole lot of shows when I was younger that were empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were pits.
It was
you could have
it
a
was
pit.
a thing
It was
to
a lot
do,
more
right?
active,
That was like the nightlife. It was like, let's go see a show. Let's go see this band play, or because now.
Yeah, but you were a lot younger though too. So this goes back to. I mean, we're older now, so. And a lot of the older, we do have responsibilities. Oh, yeah, I got to pay for this house payment. And
Yeah, where's all the young kids? Where are they at? Why aren't they at the shows? Where are they at?
yeah, where they at? Yeah, that's what we need to do. See, I think we tapped into something here. We got to put some young start out band just starting out.
Start recruiting over at the high schools.
You know what I like about these high school chicks?
Yeah.
I get older, they stay the same age.
All right.
God,
I wish I had something I could pull up right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even though, I mean, there is the groups that aren't coming to the shows. That is part of it. Then the worst, and then I think this is really what irritates me, is those bands that come out. And I think everybody, and you mentioned it earlier, that everybody has done it at some point. But you go, you play your set, you have a great time, you have all these people come and support you, and to see you play. And then as soon as you're done, you take your stuff off the stage, you pack up, and you're gone. You're out that door.
Yeah.
And then the next band comes up, and they're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, I was kind of hoping I could show you guys what we do.
Right,
yeah.
And we stayed around for you. Where you guys
before
at?
the show started, we were back there. We were talking to each other.
Yeah.
We were
shooting the shit.
What happened to that?
Yeah.
And that's such a, it's hard because you want to take that as like, well, maybe they had something,
Yeah, but then you got the whole band.
The whole band?
The whole band?
And you took your whole
It's like you took the whole caravan with you. You just, let's go.
I think every band has gone through that at some point, but it's so hard when you talk about trying to build a community of people that want to come see shows, want to play, hear music and hear bands play, and the bands that are trying to get somewhere, they're trying to get some traction. And even at a local level, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, and that was where
level,
I was trying to get to, is that you got to start somewhere. So that's why I said that's part of the grind, that. I mean, you have to. It's not like you're not going to do those types of shows. No. You're always going to have those. Even I think the bigger bands, I mean, they've all been through that grind,
Yeah. It's just it's tough to watch because I've seen some other bands get up there and, and they're like, "Hey, everybody. Well, thanks, Tim, for sticking around.
I love
this,
George. This
I see you, Mom. I see you back there, Mom.
Thanks,
Mom.
Well, maybe.
No, Scott has a photo. So Scott has a photo. I think he was playing VSB. It's the funniest photo ever, and it's just his dad in the middle of VSB, which is a pretty big. It's a pretty big venue, and he's the only one there in the center, sitting on a chair, just watching, and that's it. And he has number one fan down there. That's it, because he was the only one there.
And you will have those diehards. You will have those people that do support you all the time. And really, are eager to hear anything new that comes out and wanting to know more, wanting to hear you play and all that good stuff. And, that's cool. And you do gain those people.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it's hard to gain that traction at a local level depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
I think location's a huge thing, too.
Do these venues know who the bigger bands are? Like,
yeah.
So the big band should play last.
Usually.
And because if you're opener, you're the first show, you're brand new for. No one's gonna be there.
Yeah.
It's you, your friends, it's your mom in the back.
Right.
We expect that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
You go to any show. It's
Right.
some local band never heard of.
Right.
Whatever. You're getting your beer. You're taking a piss.
Mm-hmm.
Next band, a little more people show up. By the time the opener, or the headliner rolls in, it's packed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been to some shows here where it's like the headliner plays in the middle and then the poor bastard playing after. It's like playing like I got to follow Dave Chappelle at a Comedy Store here. It's
Right.
like where'd everybody go?
You talk about algorithms, though. There is an algorithm to that too as well. So you got out of town bands coming in, and a lot of times they're like, "Oh, we don't want to like headline." I mean, it could be a big band, but they're like, "Yeah, we don't want to headline. We want to play in the middle." So there's a lot of like, where do we put them and stuff? And really, that's why I'm not doing it, because I would fucking lose my shit in like 2 seconds and probably throat punch every single one of them. And I would love that, because I'd just be, you're going here. I don't fucking care.
Have you had that position? Have you ever done that?
Have
when
I
you
done
got
that?
kicked up over a headliner?
No, because they
touring
know
band?
my If you talk to my bandmates, they would say that he'd probably the fucking worst person to put in there, because he'd be a complete fucking dick.
He's a
Nobody
psycho.
would play here ever
no,
again.
no.
Who's promoting it? Robert's putting it on. No. We're gonna skip this town and we're gonna go to we're gonna drive to Florida. No, it's cool. We're gonna drive to Florida. It's not a big problem.
That actually happened to.
Did
my
you
old
do it?
band.
Oh, let's
My
go
old
back.
band.
Did you?
That happened to us. Yeah.
Really?
We were supposed to play, and in Reno we have the Hot August Nights. It's a big tourist thing, and people
A lot of
come
people.
to town and they bring in their hot rods,
Right.
and they drive them all over town. They
Right.
park them. People can look at them, and it's a great festival, and it happens all over town.
Yeah.
And
Sell out of Coors Lights.
yeah. Probably
And
Bud
wine
Lights.
coolers. A lot of wine
Lots of
coolers
Boone's
and
Farm going around.
toothpick umbrellas sold out.
Sold out. No, but we got asked to play a show on one of the nights during Hot August Nights, because it's a whole week for the most part, right? And
Where were
it's
you
more
playing?
towards we were at the time it was the Alley.
Okay, so that's a big avenue right there, because
Yeah,
of
and you're
downtown.
right
so
there.
the Alley is right on Sparks. It's the
Victorian.
Victorian Square, which is downtown Sparks, which is where all the cars usually roll through anyway.
Yeah. And so, we were given this opportunity. Do you guys want to play Hot August Nights?
Yeah.
And we're going to get a lot of foot traffic and all that, and we were all on board. We were like, yeah, and they were like, yeah, you're going to play for this band. And they were this national touring band and from Texas, and I can't remember the name.
Pantera?
No, it wasn't Pantera. No.
Shit.
That would have been cool though.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember their name for the life of me, but
Nevermore.
the guitarist, I'm pretty sure he said he was an ex-member of Testament at some point. And I'd have to look it up. But it was funny because like we get to the venue and we always got there early to load in, right? And we knew the sound guy. We'd BS with him and kind of go, "Hey man, how are things going? And how we looking tonight?" And
wasn't Doug?
it's gonna be dialed in. No, it wasn't Doug. It was
that guy's
oh,
fucking
man, I don't
done
remember who
sound
it was at the time.
everywhere.
Oh yeah, can't forget that ponytail anywhere. Chapin.
Fuck,
He
I
was
always
the
fuck
owner.
up his
Yeah.
name. He's doing catering now.
Yep.
He's actually getting huge now in the
Yeah,
catering business.
yeah. And he was the owner of the alley at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got there early, and there wasn't a whole lot going on that night. And there were cars.
What do you mean? It was like it's Hot August Night.
Well, that was a weird thing. It was like it didn't feel like a Hot August Night.
What year
I mean?
was this though?
Oh man, 2013.
Oh, so this is a while ago.
2014?
It should have been popping then.
Oh,
It
yeah,
should have
oh,
been
yeah.
popping by then.
It wasn't because of anything else. It was just any other year.
Yeah.
But so right then I'm kind of looking around like there's really nobody in here. What's
Right.
going on?
Do we need to play outside?
And usually Hot August Nights it kind of picks up towards the nighttime and
Right,
all
right,
that.
right.
So
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
like, all right, let's wait till we get closer.
Yeah.
And we saw the big old tour bus on the back. We're like,
Right.
oh, cool.
Oh,
The
yeah,
band's
yeah,
here,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're in the tour van, and we're in the venue. We're just drinking our beers and waiting for the show to start. And they finally came in, and we're like, hey, man, we were talking with them, and they were like, hey, do you mind if you guys go last?
Yeah, sweet. See,
And I like
Yeah.
And I'm like,
this goes
what?
back. Yeah.
Wait, why? And they're like, well, I mean, we've got some other dates we got to go to, and and all that. We just, we got to hit the road. We don't have enough money to pay for a hotel here.
Why? All right. So I want to go. Why were they
and
asking you instead of the promoter though?
And that was, and I don't know if they had talked to them or not.
Yeah. They're probably
But-
like, oh no, you need to go talk to the other band.
well,
I hate
and-
when they do that shit.
And of course, we're humble dudes, and
Yeah.
we're like, no, it's cool,
Yeah.
right? No,
Yeah.
you're fine, man.
Yeah, it's dead in
And
here
they're
anyway.
like, hey, we really appreciate it. Hey, you guys are cool as fuck, like, yeah, cool. It's gonna be fun. And so they get up there, and they played, and they basically played to us.
Yeah.
Maybe like 4 other people at the bar.
Sick. Yeah.
And
Yeah, the alley wasn't a small venue at all either. So
no, it was a
it's a
pretty decent size.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me a Coke?
No,
No, but yeah, they played, and we had a great time.
yeah.
And then we were loading up, and they're taking their stuff off the stage, and we're moving everything through the back curtain, and
Yeah.
we get set up, and we're like, okay, now there's 3 people in here.
Yeah. Sweet. We
But
lost one.
The people at the bar
Yeah.
left, and
Yeah.
the only ones left was like our girlfriends.
Yeah, I'm gonna
or-
guess
or
the
whatever,
band
and
left,
it was
too.
like, oh yeah, they
Yeah,
were
no.
gone. They
Yeah.
hightailed it
Yeah.
out of there.
Where's the tour
And-
bus? They screeched their tires and spun it around the side over there.
They were like, let's get the
Yeah.
fuck out of this town. No, yeah, and it was discouraging because like I had a lot of respect for those dudes, coming in. They were great musicians.
Right.
Listening to them, I'm like, yeah, these guys are badass.
Yeah.
And then for them to do that, I was like, man,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You've been where we've been,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna do us like that. Like
Yeah.
I get, we were all dead, but
Yeah.
at least you would have had more people to play to than we did.
Yeah. See, on
It
things
would have
like
been
that,
even.
on things like that, I get excited. All right, yeah, I don't have to play with 800 people in front of me.
Well,
That's my anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, no, I ain't gonna
But
touch that.
at the
What,
same
there's 3
time-
people? Yes.
Yeah, and
Oh,
the
wait,
other
there's
side,
2? Even better. Yeah.
But the other side of playing local shows is there's not a whole lot of pressure, right?
Yeah.
That's
you're
your
going over
opportunity
there,
to
you
practice
relax,
everything
you're a
you've
little-
been, to get out there and perform and
Yeah.
go, how well do we do together?
Yeah.
And are all these practices paying off?
Yeah.
And are we working on our show? And
Yeah.
all right, yeah. Who cares if I fuck up in front of my mom or whatever?
Right,
She's gonna
right,
be
yeah.
like, you're still my baby.
Yeah, right,
You
yeah.
know.
Hercules.
But that definitely happened to me,
Yeah.
and it is discouraging. It
Yeah.
is one of the you kind of like you can't be mad at them because it's kind of like, well, were they telling the truth?
Yeah.
And if they were, I'd feel bad by being like, fuck those guys,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't really know,
Yeah.
and so I can't necessarily make a decision. But it definitely felt shitty at the time
Yeah.
to go up there and cool.
I like those. I like those type of shows. Like I said, I enjoy those. I get this big open space to practice,
Mhm.
and a lot of the times, we fuck around and we'll laugh the whole time, and I'll fuck up and throw sticks. I've always thrown sticks. I haven't always thrown
Catch!
sticks. Yeah, but
Ding,
I'll
ding,
hit I'll hit somebody in the back of the head, like one of the guitar players or something. It's just a good time. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what else were you? We were talking about something else too. Oh, you brought up Ostracize.
Yeah.
As a band who's kind of they've been around for a long time
Yeah.
too as well.
I mean, they've been around since, as far as I know, they were one of the bands that I used to play with my old band back in at least 2012, 2013,
yeah,
that time frame.
So Tyrell, the bass player.
Yep.
Me and him went to high school. We went to Hug together, and then eventually North Valleys. But we all hung out in the same because we were all metalheads. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And so he hung out all the time. He was hilarious. Amazing bass player, which back then I didn't know he actually played bass. I don't think he played bass back then. He might have, but he never told us.
No shit.
Which was weird because, I mean, we were in bands and playing these shows,
Yeah.
and it's like, why wouldn't you bring something, especially the talent you had? Like,
Why didn't you say that?
yeah, why? Well,
The whole time.
yeah, the whole time. That might have been. I don't know. I was like, did we have 2 bass players back then? No. I know we had a lot of bass. Remember, I was telling you the story where I took over the drummer's spot, and the
Yeah,
drummer went
yeah.
to the bass player, and then we had 2 bass players.
Right.
I don't remember if that. Nah, it had to have been later. That would have been funny though. Well, hey, we'll make it 3. We'll be
three-
the first
three bass
band.
players.
First band with 3
Can't
bass
have
players.
3 bass players.
Would be the first.
Epica, but
Yeah.
all bass players.
Right.
No.
The,
No.
the bass orchestra.
All right, I want you to play duh, and then you could play duh duh, and then you could play duh 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 duh.
Yeah, Les Claypool's rolling over.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's not dead yet, but he's rolling over.
Yeah, he's
What the
rolling
fuck? 3 bass players?
What's that song? Outshined. Outshine.
That wasn't Les Claypool.
No, that wasn't.
That would have
but
been fucking
that's exactly how to
hilarious,
describe
though,
that
if he was
moment.
playing that, though. Yeah, I went from playing Outshine, Outshine to Mr. Crinkle. Do, 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 do.
I saw Primus at the Greek, I think it was a Greek amphitheater in Berkeley
Oh,
with Cracker and Fire Hose, not Firehouse, Fire Hose.
Yeah, that's my other nickname, by the way, aka Fire Hose.
Fire
Yeah.
Hose.
So Mike Watt,
Hence all the liquids.
Fire Hose, another badass bass player. He comes out with Les Claypool and they start doing like Metallica covers, and they in the middle of like Tommy the Cat.
Yeah.
Tommy the Cat lasted 15 minutes.
Right,
'cause
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole middle of it was like, God, I can't remember what. I think they played Injustice, something off Injustice for All.
You know what's
together? It was
yeah.
awesome, man.
Well, you know he auditioned to play bass in Metallica. So I wonder if that was around the same. What year was that?
Oh, no.
No,
90-something.
You already
No,
like you don't even you already
no,
know.
it had to be like early 90s, so it was way early.
Well, no, this was the time because I think
when did
Jason. I think Jason got it.
I think it was
You
before
said?
Black. I think it was before the Black album when that show.
I think he was either auditioning for the part Jason got. It couldn't have been the one that Robert got.
No, Robert
Hero.
didn't come in until
The early
Oh, man.
2000s. Because
Yeah.
I remember the
That was
icon.
Death
it was
Magnetic.
No, well, that's the album they came out with after Robert already got the job. But yeah, because it was early 2000s because MTV had that like MTV Icon. It was called Icon.
and he was on it. Yeah,
and Korn played a
watching
fucking.
that. Korn played one.
That was that
Oh,
was
yeah, that was
awesome. Who else played? That was turned out-
Avril Lavigne played Fuel.
No, yeah, that was terrible. I didn't want to go there. You went there. That's
I
all right.
watched that whole
Avril
thing
Lavigne,
today.
if you're watching.
Hopefully
That's
she
so funny
plays it
you
at
brought
that-
that up.
Yeah.
I literally watched that whole show today.
What?
Before you guys came
Which one?
over. The Metallica Icon.
You were watching
Yeah, I
it?
was watching that
Yeah.
today. So that's why I know.
No,
But then Limp Bizkit did Sanitarium.
That's the one that dude. They killed the Sanitarium. on that.
Who else? Wait a minute. There was another band. No. There was another clip, and it was Disturbed, but they didn't play that one. But they did do a cover of Fade to Black.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I did. I was watching that Icon today, and I was like, holy shit, that's funny you brought
You
that
watch
up.
Avril Lavigne on
I
repeat.
do.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Well, hey, did you get the tickets for the? Was it Vegas? I think they're playing Vegas. What is that? When
Yeah,
we were young.
Yeah, the
show?
When We Were Young. That
You
was.
didn't see that?
What?
You
Dude.
didn't see the flyer? It was posted everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
when we were young, it has like My
wait,
Chemical
it is-
Romance. and,
Yeah. Man, I
dude,
showed you that.
and they all had it on for one day. There's like
saw it.
there's like 50 bands on there. They were
There's
doing
no
it for
way
one
it's
day.
one day.
So that was because I'm old.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
I'm
yeah.
like Lollapalooza 1. Right?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's
Right.
That's
What?
that's my jam.
No, you're like Woodstock one.
Yeah, Woodstock. No, Woodstock, burn it down too, right? No, dude, I saw that
down,
flyer and literally I was like, who the fuck are all these bands and why is Avril Lavigne written so goddamn big
I know.
in the middle?
Yeah, she's huge over there. Like
Well, you got to think the woman is sold hundreds of millions of records.
I know.
mean,
Skater Boy was
it's
my jam.
No, Hello Kitty Kawaii or
Because I
whatever.
was a skater boy. I thought I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get Avril Lavigne. She likes skater boys. She likes drummers too.
No.
I think that was Adele.
She has baby teeth.
She has.
She
she didn't
does
get rid
have
of them
big-
yet. They didn't fall out.
Some boys are balls.
Can you
never
just
drop.
imagine
Her teeth
Avril
never fell
Lavigne with
out.
no teeth?
Yes.
That's hot.
So hot.
Yo, gummy bitch.
I call him a gummy bear.
We're going to hell.
We're
to
definitely
hell.
going to hell.
Nickelback's gonna show
I-
up and
I
kick our
really-
ass.
I really like Avril Lavigne. She's
Brave and beautiful.
she's amazing.
She's amazing and beautiful.
Sorry.
No, it's funny
I
because
couldn't
like
do it.
that whole lineup, and it's
Yeah.
funny because like that's where I came from before I found. Like,
I know it was
metal.
all the bands. I was like, I grew up.
I
like
grew up with
Kitty's
that
on
shit.
there too.
Kitty's on there. The
Yeah.
Used, Senses Fail.
Yeah.
Like that's where I was in the early stages of high school,
Emo
learning
Green
about
Day.
music and other outside of hip hop, and so again, I was just like, oh my god, that was like pure nostalgia for me. I'm like, oh my god, that was literally like 3 summers of my whole life.
Right.
And-
I saw this. I was like, this is a great like festival, and I was like, I looked down at the bottom in small print. It's like one day, and I was like, these fuckers are high.
There's no
They're so
fucking
high right
way.
now.
Are they all gonna get up there and play one
Yeah,
song?
Yeah. Are they all just joining on to Kumbaya on stage and play
It's
one song?
USA for Canada with
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne
You're-
at the
yeah.
front, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kitty opening.
Yeah.
My favorite when they redid the flyer was they just replaced all the names with Creed. I'm like, I'm sorry, I guarantee people are trying to buy tickets. So Creed's playing this?
Really?
Oh my God, they're on there so many times. This is a Creed show?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I can't even do
Cold as in session. My present world of tears in. I don't know. I listen to Creed too.
I mean,
that
okay.
was,
I'm sorry, I wasn't there. I did not.
too.
I did
I
not
was
join in
there.
that.
First Nickelback album,
Oh,
first
don't
Creed
do
album.
Silver Side Up.
We all had them.
So I had Silver Side
lie.
I
Up.
did not.
Don't lie.
I did.
Robert had them.
I got
No.
it right now.
My dad. So there's a funny story about Nickelback. My dad brought me this guitar, and he's like, "This guitar is great. It's signed by. It's this band. It says Nickel. It said Nickelback on the guitar, and I thought it was Nickelback." And it was a Washburn guitar, and I was like, "What the fuck, Dad? You giving me a fucking Nickelback guitar sign?" So I took some alcohol wipes and wiped all that shit off. It was a great guitar.
Worked great.
It was
you know?
fantastic.
It's,
As soon as the names
got
were off
great
there,
sound.
the tune was amazing.
I'm googling Nickelback.
I didn't even, dude.
Nickelback.
Later on, okay, a couple years after I washed off the names on the guitar, I found out Nickelback was also a band. Clearly, they weren't too big because I guarantee most of you probably don't know who Nickelback is.
I mean, they're on my top 10, like on Spotify.
Oh, is it?
Nickelback.
Oh,
they-
you should-
100,000 views
you
this
should-
week.
you should
they're
pull
right
them
after
up.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, and Britney Spears hit me one, baby one. That's your
That's
gym
your workout.
That's the only one I
jam.
work
That's
out,
your
yeah.
gym playlist
So I'm
right there.
Pumping those irons.
Yeah. That's why you're so swole.
You can't tell.
All that nickel bag.
Speaking of festivals, when is the next Pig Fest? When is that going down?
Remember it used to be
Jason
called.
Say anything on there?
Well, I haven't heard anything, but it used to be called the Virgo Fest.
What?
Because they did it in September all the time. That's
When was
when
that?
we went not this past.
No, the first one we went to
Was
because we did it
Virgo
3
Fest.
years now, right? We did it 3 years.
we did two.
No, we did 3.
No, we did two.
We did 2 at the house, and then we did the one in Dayton at the fairgrounds.
We only did one. Because no, we did. Oh well, okay. So we did the Pig Fest, which was in Dayton, but we went to their house. The second time was for the Celebration of Life.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
So when we went there the first time, it was called Virgo Fest because that's
okay.
why they were like, "Who's got a birthday in September?" And you and I were like,
right.
"Oh,
Yeah,
we
we
do.
do,
Get
yeah.
your ass up here!" And we're like, "Oh, that's what this is
right.
for."
That's right. Yeah, that's
So-
right. I
so
always thought it was the pig because they're always roasting that fucking pig.
Well,
each
that was the
time.
thing, and so that's why they were like, "Well, we're gonna change it up," and so that's why they changed it to the Pig Fest. But
Sounds better than Virgo Fest.
I'm betting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that works a
Bet
little bit. It
it's
rolls
gonna
off
be
the tongue
September.
better.
So
Did you see the stickers they printed for that last year?
yeah,
I'm a little pissed off. I didn't even get one of those.
I
Neither
kept,
did I.
I kept the
Yeah.
lanyard
Yeah.
that we got.
It was
members,
it was
but-
so there was a lot of space there. I mean, you had to walk. It was almost like a full on like. Is this Burning Man?
Yeah,
Like
wow, they
one
might as well
stage
have
over
been.
here, the food was in the back, lined up, by the
We had
fences.
great food though.
I didn't even
Oh,
eat.
the
They had
barbecue
They had food. I know, that's what I was saying. They had food.
at the Dayton show.
You know what they did have?
Yeah,
A
they had
lot
the
of
barbecue
wind and a
place.
lot of sand.
Wind and sand. Yes.
Because
Yeah, that's all thing I
I remember
remember for
waking
sure.
up
Yeah.
and just
No,
like
remember
a
we
2
got the
inches
we
of
got
sand.
the barbecue fries. Remember we shared those.
I No.
Or was that me and Scott?
Jolty
Oh, maybe
came
that was
into
me
my
and Scott.
tent. I
Never
was
mind.
like passed
I'm
out.
getting my
It was
old
like
people mixed up.
it was like
Thank you.
midday, and Jolty comes in with like a bunch of fries and like pulled pork sandwich. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like,
I think I
"I
hid
need
in
to
the,
get some food. You know, in my country we have to eat."
Yeah.
I hid in the van. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
you
I hid
did.
in
Yeah.
the van.
Well, you have
I
a
mean,
sweet
we
van.
all tried to
Actually,
hide
weren't
from
you
the wind that
playing
day.
like you were playing some techno at like 3 a.m? It was fucking driving me nuts. My fucking tent's like blowing over, and all I hear is doo 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 doo. Oh wait, no, Scott has a great Scott's story though.
That wasn't
God.
the wind. That was Scott single-handedly destroying the
Oh,
camp.
dude, it was like a Tasmanian devil. So we woke. I remember I woke up. It was early. It was like 6 or 7. I woke up and I walk out, and Scott's like pissed off. He's stomping around, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I walk around because there was a line of tents and I couldn't really see anything. So I walk around. We had tent canopies set up like in front of his tent.
Yeah.
And so I walked around all the tents, and then I realized there was no tents.
The easy up. Yeah,
The easy ups were fucking gone. The frame of the goddamn thing was bent into like 40 different pieces. And Scott's running. He's the only one walking around pissed off. Where the fuck is everybody? Where the fuck? It's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning.
What are you doing?
He's like,
We're
I've
up
been
all
dealing
night."
with this at like 3 o'clock in the morning. They had to tie it around the car. I got because I parked my car like right in front of it.
Yeah.
And so I realized the top of the canopy was tucked. It was wrapped around my front tire. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do last night? Jesus Christ.
It did get windy though.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I didn't know because I was
whipping.
passed out. I wanted to sleep.
Oh, it
Sleep
was-
is good.
That thing was blowing whole tents into the barbed wire.
Yeah.
It
I'm
just-
surprised you didn't hear it because you were backed up pretty close to that whole thing.
Bro,
You didn't hear anything. You were like, you
my
probably
van
heard
is-
it, and you were
my
like,
van
you know
is
what?
insulated.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I fed him quite a bit of Jack Daniels.
Oh
that
yeah,
night.
yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I walked
Yeah.
around with that thermos all night, and I was like,
It's-
here,"
it's-
and he was just like, "Huh?"
No, I'm sure you fucking heard Scott fucking screaming out
it's the
there, and you were like,
quality
I am
workmanship
not
in
dealing
the
with
van.
that shit.
My favorite was Rachel telling her side of it when she
Oh, I'd love to
his
hear her
wife.
side. I didn't
when
hear
she-
that.
When I got up and I step out the camper, I'm like, "Oh, it's windy
Oh, yeah.
out
Oh,
here."
I
And
got a
start
camper,
walking
big guy.
towards like, who else is up? And Rachel's over there just like with her hands on her hips, and Scott's in the tent, and he's got his arm over his face. And I'm like, what happened over here? And she was like, Scott destroyed the camp. He's like, I tried to save it.
Killing me.
And she's like,
Oh.
she goes, I was tired. And he comes into bed. And I just remember kind of waking up from him like laying next to me. And I open my eyes, and there he is staring at me. And he's like, everyone's going to be so mad at me.
That was not the expression I got when I ran into him.
everyone's gonna
Okay,
be so
I got
mad at me.
the total opposite expression. Where the fuck is everybody? That's where I got from Scott when I woke up.
Dude, it looked like a bear went through there trying to find food.
That
did,
dude
yeah.
was so bad. Yeah, I think we just wrapped it up. I remember at the end when I was leaving, it was just the whole frame was just thrown over the side. And everybody's just like, "Fuck it." I was so done with that thing.
Yeah.
That was a rough.
And we
that was
still
a rough
we
couple
still had
days.
a long day to go before we played that night because we were second to last that
Yeah.
night, and we were like, "Whew, it's gonna be a long
yeah.
day dealing with this wind." And
that
we're
was 7 in the morning.
repositioning our vehicles to try and block it.
Yeah, I had to
and-
tie off my tents to other people's trucks so it
Yep.
didn't fucking blow over on
Yep.
me.
Yeah,
But-
that
Good
was,
times.
That was over. Yeah. What time did you guys play? That thing didn't even. I left at like 10. There was still another band that night.
Oh, dude, it went
So I
for.
had to work
Was
it.
it two
Yeah,
nights?
yeah,
It was
you
two
had to
nights,
drive straight
though,
back to Reno.
It was
Yeah.
2 nights, right? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 nights. So
So it was just a weekend.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Friday night,
Friday, Saturday night.
and then Saturday night. But yeah, we went on. God, it was like 11. It was like 11
It was
o'clock.
late.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
Yeah,
late.
my cymbals were blown over. It looked like a fucking sail. It was just up in the air.
No,
That's probably
I mean
It
I
was
had a
cool.
great time.
It was
Yeah,
great
fun.
time. Like
it
the
was
whole
really
thing-
fun.
The
I
whole
mean,
experience was great.
I think it started too early in the day, maybe. Or, yeah, you don't want to say that either. You need daytime entertainment, right? But like,
Yeah.
it just felt like
Yeah.
a long day.
Well, there was a lot of bands and stuff. They had like no, it wasn't just like rock bands either. Too, they had
yeah, they had the hip hop groups
hip-hop
that
groups.
played that day.
yeah.
They were the one dude was pretty good. The DJ,
Yeah,
the DJ
Yeah,
was
the
pretty
DJ
good.
that,
was opening.
Nerp.
yeah,
I think so.
Nerp.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah. Then we
I-
played with them before.
Yeah, we played with them at Virgo Fest.
We were like, how the hell do you say this fucking
yeah,
name?
how
Nerp.
Snurp.
So look up Nerp, by the way.
Spell that.
Spell TH.
There was like 4 E's in there or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember. But yeah, no, I mean that was a fun experience. You know, we got to hang out with a lot of other bands,
and and all those people are cool.
Yeah. Everybody had a really good time.
I'm glad they did that. That's one of the outlets for all those bands too, is to kind of get on that.
Yeah.
It's like, because there was a lot of people there, even though it was a big space. Like it still had that like close venue kind of feel. Yeah. Like when we were playing, we were still like, everybody was still up front. Like it wasn't like people were like miles back and going,
right.
I can't hear you. Gotta come up.
The kids, because I brought all the kids and the lady with us. They were like, next time you do this, you're going without us. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, well, it doesn't help that
I brought the tent or the kite.
I
brought the kite. And I brought the kite. You had the RV, which was nice. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine bringing my kid over there with that tent. I would have lost my shit.
But
I would have been out there with Scott ripping down shit. You need help? I hope you just demolish this. I won't help you set it up. I want to break some shit right now. No. I'm gonna Limp Bizkit the fuck out of this place right now.
Woodstock. So come and get it.
You want to start some fires? I'm good with that too.
Deal. Be like Woodstock '99.
We'll take Ryan's propane tank from his fucking RV.
That wasn't mine.
Fancy guy.
Remember, I borrowed that.
Oh yeah, that's
from
right.
my very, very generous neighbors when they were like, "You want to use our RV?"
Did they get it back? Was like, we're not gonna.
Well, you know,
it
was actually funny because the dog had busted through the screen door, right? And opened it wide open, and I was like, "Oh no," you know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just duct tape it for now, just to try and keep some dirt and dust out. But when I dropped it off, you know, we emptied out the sewage tank and all that, and then we dropped it off in front of the house. And I went up and knocked on the door, and I was like, I got something I need to show you.
Yeah, but did you do a Christmas story, like straight in the sewer, like right out front?
No,
we're cleaning it up for you right now. It's getting great.
I did the right thing. I went to a gas station, and I actually emptied it the proper way.
Merry Christmas, shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
No, but she walked out with me, and I was like, and I opened the door, and I'm like, the screen door, you know, the dog busted through, was trying to get out, wanted to be out with us. And she was like, oh, that's easy to fix. Don't worry about that. And I'm like, really? And she goes, oh, yeah, we've fixed that before. She goes, as a matter of fact.
You're like, let me finish.
No, as a matter of fact, she goes, we had some friends of ours who borrowed it to go camping. And when they went camping, they had like all kinds of friends at different campsites. So they left their campsite to go visit friends, and when they came back, a bear had busted through the screen door.
Oh, really?
And got into their camper and was going through all their food and rummaging through their stuff.
You're like, I don't feel so bad now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she's not much of a bear, but all right, cool.
Did you tell them about the mallet?
I did not. No, I did not tell them about
See,
the
that's
mallet.
The things you don't bring up.
In all reality, I completely spaced that. I forgot the thing, like, as we're using it.
No, I remember because I was like, oh, what the fuck are we going to use?
Yeah, well...
Getting that generator started too was
well. It's not like I'm not exactly savvy on using that kind of technology. Okay,
yeah.
I've never owned a generator. I might need to. I
looked everything up on YouTube before I left the house. We're good. I'm a professional.
I figured it out though.
So we didn't actually get to. I want to kind of divert it here. We didn't actually get to finish your full story on the first episode. Well, the pilot we did. I call it the pilot.
The pilot.
Not an episode.
That's episode 1. That's episode 1.
It was definitely episode 1.
I'm gonna argue with you. It was definitely a pilot. We were not.
The way we ended it was definitely a pilot.
I mean,
that was a great ending. I ended it. It was a fantastic. What are you talking about?
You did good.
But yeah, we didn't. So we didn't actually get to finish your full story. And I think we ended where did we end at? You were, I think you were you had that one show with Cynical.
Yeah, my first audition. Yeah, so yeah, I played with Cynical, and it was cool because again, it was a house party, and that completely threw me off guard.
Yeah,
and that was Yeah, that'll get your nerves going, right? Like,
yeah.
Shit, don't fuck this up. You know, like you're playing in front of kids that you're going to school with, and you're sharing classes with. Like,
I was sweating when you told me the story.
Oh, fuck, dude. And so it ended up good. And, you know, again, they had their cover of the Four Horsemen, and I didn't know a lick other than the chorus, and just kind of did that with them. And then after that was over, I was done, and I stepped down and you know, just kind of reveled in the moment.
Yeah, but
like,
you had that
holy
energy.
Shit, I fucking did. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm like, dude, I fucking did that. My buddy Steve's like my hype man. Going,
You're going and making out with chicks right after. You got that adrenaline going. Let's go to the back, baby.
No. But yeah, and it was funny because like I was like, well, maybe something will come of it, you know. And I don't know, maybe I did make a good enough impression and all that. And I think I went back there one other time. And it
with
was,
Cynical or
just like one other time I got invited over to hang out, and this wasn't a house party thing. It was definitely just the band hanging out at the house and doing stuff. And they were, you know, kind of like, oh, we'll try this, and they're playing stuff, and I'm like, okay, so that's not as heavy or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna figure out my way around this and through this or whatever. And then a couple of days later, they were like, hey man, you know, just want to let you know that, you know, you did a great job. You know, and but you're definitely not our style. You know, you're a little more on the hardcore side of things. And I definitely was listening to a lot of hardcore, like Death Before Dishonor and Barcadia and bands like that, straight edge hardcore bands.
Did you
in
just
Reno.
go off on them like, fuck you, bitch, I'm the best there ever was?
I mean, inside, I'm like, you fucked this up.
Yeah. It's your fault. You made me play
go.
in front of 20 people. And I've never played with you guys before.
No. I mean, internally, I was definitely like, you fuck, damn it.
Yeah.
Gave your hopes up, you know? And then, but on the outside, you know, I definitely was like, you know what? I appreciate the opportunity. You know, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity otherwise.
I know, but
you
think it would have been a different story if you would have had a different experience with them. So instead of like doing like, all right, we're just going to throw you straight into a show with a bunch of fucking people here. Like, hey, we're going to do it like how we usually, like, this is band practice. We got a fucking grungy 6x6 shed here.
Well, that's what we did. That was the second day.
That was,
and it was very practice-ish.
Oh, so you got a little bit of both.
So I did get a little bit of both worlds.
Yeah, but
and I think that was a good introduction for me of going, get your ass up here. You know, and I'm like, how well do I handle pressure? And I handled that shit.
Right.
No problem. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they had their, you know, their sound and their direction they wanted to go, and it was very experimental rock metal. You know, it was different.
Yeah, they're
and what I was doing wasn't their style.
Right.
And as much as I had fun, I appreciated the opportunity. So I took that as like, okay, I'm going to learn from this experience, and now I've been turned down.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get better. And
so you weren't just like, I'm going to, you know, pack up.
No.
I guess I'm not going to be a singer.
No, I definitely. And after that, I really started dedicating my life, you know, my passion for music to getting better and wanting to actually start a band. And so I just had
from scratch. Are you talking about like from scratch?
Just like, hey, I found out this guy plays drums, this guy plays guitar, this person plays you know, bass or whatever, and just trying to, you know, hodgepodge a group of people that play music that are really good at what they do, and let's see what we can do. Yeah. And it was just failed attempt after failed attempt after failed attempt.
Yeah, but so you were still young.
Oh yeah, I was I was 16, 17.
Yeah. And so I found it a lot easier, like especially in those younger years, to definitely kind of do that because everybody was kind of looking for
it's like injuries.
Outlet.
You can bounce right back.
Right. Yeah, and then you get older and you're like, fuck.
Fuck this.
I stubbed my toe. I'm out for a month. What, you want me to
I'm not going to be walking for the next year now.
You got a crutch? They're like, what happened? I stubbed my toe.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
That's my life right
It's purple right now. You want to see it?
No. But yeah, I just kept trying. And it's funny because a friend of mine that I would love to have on the show, Chris Maestas, him and I were adamant about trying to play music together, and we had attempted to play, God, I want to say at least 4 or 5 different times with different people, and it just never went anywhere. I think the further, and there was even points where it was just him and I.
Yeah.
Him playing drums and me doing vocals, and what we would do is just like do cover songs of songs we knew. Like we did.
Right.
We did a cover of Parkway Drive, Romance is Dead.
Yeah.
Thrice, Under a Killing Moon.
Right.
And we were just experimenting with that. And
so
just
was it
like,
just the musical talent you couldn't find somebody, or is it like personality? Because there's two different sides of that too. Like I could get with somebody who's an amazing fucking musician, but they do not clash with everybody else's personality. So it's you're a great musician, but I think we're gonna go a different avenue on this.
No, it definitely wasn't a personality thing entirely. I mean, it mostly was just like, we all got together. We practiced together, played a song or two together one time, and then never happened again. It was like, hey, you want to go? I'm a little busy, or I got something coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. And
they're
it
dodging.
Just never happened.
That's
or
their
dodging.
Yeah, they're dodging.
And this was back in the day with like MySpace, and we were like putting MySpace ads out for people. And there was a point where we finally got like a solid 4-person crew, and then it just never went anywhere. We tried to call ourselves a Failing Light. That was my first attempt at my own.
And that one was going pretty good, or
no? Again, we never.
Did you guys come up with like an album, or like was it like we did have like 2 songs, or were you just doing cover songs?
We initially started learning to play "Romance Is Dead" together, just as like a warm up. Like, hey, I know this song, you know this song, we all know this song. Let's learn it together, play it together, and then that's like a warm up we can do together, and we can build that chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's as far as it went. Yeah. After that, we tried to write an original, and it just never happened.
Really?
And it was over.
That's the hardest part, is like getting down originals. Like covers is great because you could listen to it and go, all right, I could pick this up. Like it's not.
It's written for you already. You just got to learn it.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. Coloring book. Yeah. All right, 1, 2. This one's blue here. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, when you're sitting down writing, that's a totally new like Pandora box there.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's where the real talent comes out, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to write something original, you got to be able to know what you're doing with your drums, with your guitar, with your bass, or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not like, can you show me what to do? Then it's like, why the fuck are you here? Right?
I still do that. But I do that now. I still am like, all right, yeah, so that part you're playing that guitar part on, how do you want the drums?
And that's different.
Write it for me real quick so I can play it.
But that's different. That there's a difference between getting feedback on where you hear it and then going, I see where you're coming from, and then putting your own spin on it. Yeah. Then just saying, all right, I want you to sit down on my drums. I want you to play it, and then I'll just do what you did.
Right, yeah. No, that's I never. Of course, you couldn't sit on my drum set anyway because most people are right-handed. Yeah. But
yeah, that was over and over and over again. Just never got off the ground.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until 2010 that I finally. So this was years later. So I graduated high school. I'd been out for a minute, and I was looking for something to do. And I all throughout that time, I had just been like relentlessly practicing all night, all day. Just that's what I did. I wanted to get good at
writing.
Yeah,
lyrics.
I had my own little book and just filled it with scribbles and lines and this and that.
So back to your writing. How were you writing though? Because I'm a drummer. I need music to play drums too. Not necessarily. I could come up with my own little, but it's not like a full complete song. When you're writing lyrics, do you have like a melody, or like do you know how the music sounds when you're writing it, or you're just going like poetry style where you're just kind of like, I'm thinking of this right now, so I'm gonna just write a bunch of this stuff?
Yeah. It depends, because when I'm writing with a band, I hear the music first. Mm-hmm. I want to hear, okay, what am I getting from this melody that they've created?
Right, which you did a lot in Lethal Inception.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Because, and that's, to me, that's the best way to write for me, because then I can gather inspiration from the song and go, what does this tell me? Right. And then I come up with a theme or a topic, and I go, okay, this is what I think of. Right. And then can I build from that? And I just keep writing and writing and writing and writing. And then I go, I'm onto something. And, and eventually I start to formulate a full, complete story or image in my head. Right. And then I can incorporate that into how do I tell how to describe that image or that story or whatever.
Right.
And then I format it.
Right.
And I,
So,
structure it.
break it
But,
down to this is chorus, this is verse here, verse.
Right, right. But back then, it was a little different. I definitely was very poetry style. It was very like, okay, theme. I'm gonna go with this, and then
you're
what can I
writing.
come up with that? And
Yeah.
then and I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And there was a couple times where I ended up writing, something, and felt, all right, I can structure that, and maybe someday that would become a song. And Davy Jones became that song.
Right.
That's the only one I've ever been able to pre-write and go, holy shit, this fits.
Oh,
And
wow.
boom.
So you had that one. You had Davy Jones written way before we even.
Years before.
Okay.
I wrote
wow.
that
I thought
in-
you just wrote that while we were like, we did it like.
No, yeah, that was my first attempt at writing. I was just doing creative writing. I was like, I'm gonna do a pirate song,
Yeah, right, yeah.
and that's what I did. And I had this really good line where I was like, oh, I love that line, and
Right.
oh, I love that, and I just kept building and building and building, and I was really proud of that piece. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I want to use this someday.
Yeah.
And I remember that day when Mark brought down that melody. He was like,
Yeah.
I wrote this song, and he was playing it for us, and I just already got that like nautical theme.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I wonder, and I flipped through my book, and I found it, and I'm all right, keep playing, and I'm listening to him play it, and then you jumped in, and I'm just doing line after line after line. I'm like, oh, and I had that like, ding, it fucking works. I'm putting that in there, and that was it.
So when Mark played you that riff, was it like so Mark played you that riff. When I jumped in, did you have a different feel of it, or
No.
did it change it at all?
No.
So we were on the same wavelength on
Yes.
on that whole piece, and we were on the same page.
In that song, it was definitely, it had the intro.
Yeah.
It had that, and the way it kicks in.
Yeah.
And there's even some parts where I kind of had to, mix and match a couple words, or just the way I enunciate them to make them fit, but they fit. And I was just so excited about that. But I
Yeah.
definitely was like, no, I really like it because it still flows together. It still works, and it wasn't like I had to restructure everything. So I mean, it was literally like the way it was written was meant to be.
Right.
So I that's never happened before.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Every other song I've had to hear it and
Yeah.
go, all right, I'm gonna write off of that.
Right. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the band in 2010, you said you were starting it. That was still a rock band?
Yeah. Well, so that was the band, and we were called Anthem.
Yeah.
And back then they didn't have a name yet, and
okay.
so this is the band that they wanted a female front.
Oh, so
and
this is
so
a
and she
keyboard
played
player.
keys
Yeah.
and all that, and they were trying that avenue. And I remember I was hanging out with these guys all the time, and they were like, "Hey, you do vocals, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You still do it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, every day."
Yeah.
They're like, "You should come down. You should come jam with us. You still have that PA?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I still got my PA."
Yeah.
Like, you should come down. So I did, and we played in this tiny little fucking. Oh man, it had like a 10 by 10 little shed, and it was divided into like 3 sections. And
Where was this at?
this was in Old Sparks, just on D Street.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Fucking. The shed literally was probably about the size of this
No, I'm gonna say
circumference
no
of-
windows, no
Oh,
ventilation.
there was there were windows. There was some ventilation, but
Yeah.
literally you had to duck everywhere you walked.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it was tiny.
Yeah.
And there was just enough space. Like there was a good like 6 by 6 space where the drums fit
Yeah.
barely.
Yeah.
One of the amps was tucked underneath a shelf. The other one was like right as you open the door.
Right.
And we all just kind of were like this with each other.
Yeah.
And I was the only one who was in this little back room.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of like poke my head out and be like, "How'd that sound?"
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
I couldn't hear.
So you
any
didn't have
of it.
visual cues or anything at all.
No,
like-
well, I could hear that from me to you.
yeah. Well, and
And
you're in a
so-
closed space.
right,
That
and
shit
it's a
echoes
tiny
through
space,
everything.
so I could definitely hear what was going on. I just couldn't hear myself through the PAs pointing the other direction.
Yeah.
So, and I'd catch it every now and then, but
Yeah,
I'm in
this
my
was
own little
before we
room.
used inner ear monitors and all that other jazz that we have, and we weren't using protection. I'm gonna guess you weren't using protection. I had that same thing.
I
yeah.
raw dogged it the whole
yeah.
time.
And we're at 11.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no like turning down. Oh, we're in a small space. We could turn down. No, that didn't happen.
No. And we did that for a while.
Yeah.
Where we played like that, and and when we first started, she was in that same room with me, but she kind of was like, oh, I kind of need my own space, and she would like sit down on the step leading into that room, and so I'm like above her, and I'm like trying to keep my own space and doing my own thing, but I'm a wild man, so I'm like, I'm confined in here, you know, and I just kept all that pent up energy, and I'm like, just let it out.
Oh, that'd be funny if you just kicked her, just like hardcore kick. Sorry, I was dancing. You just knocked her out.
Sparta. But no, after a while, it just, you know, we all felt that, you know, well, and when I say we all, it was everybody but her.
Right.
We were like, you know, it's probably better that without her. You know, I think what we've got going on actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a point where she just wasn't showing up anyway. And so we did the right thing. We went all the way to her house, to her apartment. And she was like, what's going on, guys? And we're like, well, we wanted to break some news to you. And she was like, you came all the way here.
Wow, there was no like text or...
No. We drove straight to her place and told her in person and said, look, it's, you know, we're going into a direction and, you know, unfortunately, you know, it's just not working out with you.
Right.
And of course she was heartbroken because she was like really excited about the project and all that. But, you know, we moved on without her.
Yeah. Did you get another keyboardist after that?
No, never did.
Cause you know how hard it is to find a freaking keyboardist?
I've always been a fan of the keyboard.
I do too. I love the sound of it.
But yeah, and so after that, I mean, we never had a bass player.
Yeah.
I did try out a friend of ours.
Yeah.
A friend of mine that I worked with, and actually, well, you know him, Nick Sorensen, from our work,
comedian?
Right.
So he played this. Nick, he played bass.
He plays in Reno 911.
No, that's Swardson. No, Sorensen.
That's not the same guy.
No.
Oh,
Nick Sorensen was this guy that Mike and I worked with for a while. And him and I worked on the same shift, and him and we talked a lot about music, and he grew up in a family where they played around town, played casinos and stuff like that with his dad. And, you know, I was like, hey, we're looking for a bass player. You want to come jam with us sometime? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so he came down and jammed with us and was just kind of like learning what we were doing and watching the guitar players and trying to follow along, and we're just doing our thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, so what do you guys called? And we were like, oh, we don't actually have a name yet. You know, and he's like, well, I've always had a name that I always wanted, you know, to have, and I thought would be cool for a metal band. And he goes, it's Anthem. And I'm all, what does that mean? He's like, it's actually not a real word.
Right.
So, I mean, whatever you want, you know. And he's all, I always thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, and he's like, you guys can use it. Yeah, why not? You know, let's use it. And then eventually he was like, yeah, it's not working out. It's not my cup of tea, you know. And we're like, oh, well.
The band,
okay,
I'm going to guess the band
and,
or not the name.
And he was like, no, keep the name.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's awesome of you.
Yeah,
cool. And so we kept the name, decided we were going to play our first show with Fairweather Sky.
Okay, yeah, who was also in Sign It. He was one of the vocalists.
Well, this was actually our first show was in my mom's living room.
Oh, okay.
So we played that, just the, you know, four of us, the two guitar players, me and the drummer.
Yeah.
We did that, had a great time. And a friend of mine who lived across the street, we went to elementary school together, he came over and was like, hey, you know, my punk band my dad has a garage and like a warehouse he's not using. And we were thinking about, you know, throwing a show there. You want to come down and play with us? And we were like, yeah, fuck yeah, that'd be cool, right? A punk metal show, let's do it.
Right.
And so it was just the two of us. We played in that warehouse, had a great time, had a lot of people show up, packed that place, brought our own beer or, you know, alcohol. We just did our thing in, you know, the Sparks industrial area. No residential around, and nobody was there. So, yeah, it was all ours.
Crank it to 11.
And then after that, we decided to do another show, and that's when we met Brian Fairweather and Fairweather Sky and all those guys. And they came and played with us, and they were like, hey, we're going to play like a venue. You guys want to play with us? And that was my first venue show was at the Zephyr Lounge.
Really?
On Virginia Street.
Yeah, the Zephyr. I have a lot of great shows there. Never mute.
Schling is asking in chat, where's Timmer?
Timmer.
Tim
Scott, if you would have listened to the beginning of the podcast.
He's busy not tearing down somebody's camp.
You would have heard Tim has a sick dog. And,
sorry, Scott.
very
Tim
unfortunately wasn't able to make it today.
But it's all good.
So a funny thing about Brian Fairweather, is he's the one who actually. So I was working with him at a different print shop at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I got this band." So he actually introduced me to Scott.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I met up with him. It was Scott, Tim, Shannon, and him that were in Cyanate at the time. They had this other drummer. Something happened, and so I played with them that one day, and the next day they're like, "Oh yeah, we're getting rid of the drummer. You're gonna come in and we're gonna play." I was like, "All right, cool," because I wasn't doing anything at the time anyway. So it worked out great. But yeah, so he introduced me to everybody, and so that was like 15 years ago.
Jesus.
It's been like 15 years ago. And so yeah, I've been with Scott ever since, because Scott's a band whore, as you probably heard from the
from the last week's episode.
Podcast. He likes playing music and juggling. That was not in there. I'm making that up. But yeah, so he introduced, and then so after Cyanate, he left Cyanate and then started that
Fairweather Sky.
Yep. Yeah. So I had to have been around that same time.
No kidding.
Which when was that? That had to have been.
That was 2010.
Yeah.
9, 10, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So
22 years. That's 20. That's a long time. That's like 12 years.
No,
12 years.
12 years.
That's
What did you
math.
say? 20.
12.
I was muted when I said
Yeah.
it wrong.
Oh,
so
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I was using my
Really?
fingers to count.
Oh well, he'll
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for letting everyone know.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mute myself again.
But yeah, we played many shows. The Alley. We played Knuckleheads.
I wonder if we played with you before. I had to have played with you.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I was still doing Never Mute. Never Mute was
I
in
never
there.
played with Never Mute.
No.
No. And the first time I met Eric Iglesias was with Walkaway Alpha. And that's
Yeah.
where I met Josh Mathis too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It would see that's Eric's one of those guys too. So
Yeah.
every time we'll play with somebody, and then they'll see Eric and they're like, "Oh goddamn!" Every time they'll
snatch him up.
yeah, which is fine because Never Mute's one of this like, "All right, yeah, we're gonna do it like a 10-year hiatus,
Yep.
and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna grab another menu, like another member, and then
Yeah.
we'll do another 2 new songs."
Yep.
And then it's all over again.
What's new on the menu?
Trent's one of them. He's
Trent.
Probably a lot of the band a lot of musicians around town has probably been in Never Mute and regret it. Like I
Some
have.
foreshadowing there.
No, but all kidding aside, yeah, it was Never Mute's always one of those. It's a fun project, and
Yeah.
I love the Iglesias brothers. They're brothers to me.
Yeah.
I've been around their family for quite some time.
Yeah.
And, but so yeah, he left Never Mute. We opened up for Walkaway Alpha. The next day, he joined Walkaway Alpha, and then a few years later, we played Elko with Condemned Existence, and so Rich Tom,
yeah.
Rich Tom was he was singing for Condemned at the time.
Yeah.
And it was at the Silver Dollar in Elko. And the day after we played with them at the Silver Dollar, never fails.
Eric
Eric
joins
bailed
Condemned.
out. He joined Condemned Existence. So,
Well.
yeah. It's been a wide revolving door of musicians.
Wow,
That's why I got so many. I was like, I know that person. I know
Yeah,
that person
yeah.
because I either played with them or they've been in a band that I was in
Yeah.
at some time.
You little whore, you.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, and it's funny because we do know a lot of the same musicians, and we've been kind of in the same circles without ever really meeting each other until we did the whole got together for
Which was that's a great story too. So your buddy,
Josh,
Josh,
Josh Fanjo,
he came to audition because Tim posted it up saying we were looking for a vocalist, and Josh came and auditioned, and then he was kind enough to say, I don't think I'm the right fit for you guys.
Yeah, he came down, met you guys, or did his thing and was doing his vocals and listening to everything, and he was like, I really appreciate it, and I'm not the guy,
No.
but I know the guy.
Yeah.
And literally that day, he called me or messaged me and was like, hey, you still interested in playing music? And I'm like, I thought you'd never ask.
Right, yeah.
And I thought he was trying to get me to play in another band with him because we played in Seductive Rage together.
Oh, okay.
And it just, it had its time. We did our thing, and we all kind of just went our separate ways. And, for everyone had their own reasons and stuff. And so him and our drummer, Wes, they joined Alice in Chains with Ben.
Oh, really?
And they were he was
another
the bass
band
player,
with revolving doors.
and yep, exactly. And so they joined that, and then after a while, I didn't, I noticed that they weren't playing with them anymore, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Josh hits me up, and I was like, oh, he's starting another project, yeah. And he calls me as soon as I messaged him. I thought you'd never ask,
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, and he goes, so I met these dudes, and I tried out
They're
for
a bunch
vocals.
of fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You should really come try out
because
for
I tried
them.
out to be their vocalist, and then immediately he was like, then why the fuck are you calling me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to do anything else. I know I played bass for like 5 songs in a punk band. That's about it.
Yeah,
Like, that's all I know, and it's 4 notes every song.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what you're looking for, you're in for some world
I got
of shit.
you. I got
So
you.
I'm like, well, what? Or maybe it's a dual thing, right? I don't know. And so he was like, you should meet him because I tried out and it didn't work out, and I think you would match really well.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're hooking me up right now? He's like, yeah, man.
Nice.
All right, well, when? And we set a date and all that, and I followed him over to Scott's house to the Schlinghaven, and I was.
You were a natural fit. Like, as soon as you walked in, we did that first day. I was like, all right, yo, we didn't even need to.
Well, it was funny because
we'll see you next. It's a normal thing. We'll see you next. This is the schedule. You will see you here.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because like you guys were very like, what's up, man? And it was easy to talk to you guys and bullshit and all that, and going down to the basement and playing, it was, you guys were like, hey, we got some songs we don't have any lyrics to. You want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, just play them and I'll just hop in.
Yeah.
And I just
we did some covers too, didn't
we did do some covers. We did Master Puppets.
We did do that because we had that one for a while.
And then I attempted Tomorrow's Breath, that Downtime song. I did attempt that.
With the
but I
fucking
was
novel
reading
of
it,
lyrics.
Yeah. And in that
Oh, that's
ring
the
notebook,
prison.
Can you read Prison?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's where the joke came in. And they're like, oh yeah.
But yeah, and I was really stoked because when I heard you guys play, Master Puppets, I'm like, these guys fucking know how to play.
Right.
Holy shit! I'm in a band that knows like
they're playing more than
they got
4
their
notes.
Shit together.
They played 5.
Yeah. So I was really excited, and I definitely was like, this is my chance. This is my opportunity. I've had too many failed attempts. I gotta get this motherfucker going.
Yeah, and we were all in the same
full
boat
bore.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, we had that same thought of like, damn, we just need to get this thing going because there's some good stuff. There was great stuff there, dude. We still got great stuff that's not even out. Like,
there's those songs that we wrote, and we only played 2 of them at the Pig Roast. That was the first time we got to really unveil those. To other people.
Yeah.
And, man, those are good too.
Yeah.
Those are good. And that's really when I started delving into my writing and really trying to think outside the box and not be so elementary about it and not so like, I mean, my early writing was very, oh, she broke my heart.
Right, yeah.
Fuck her.
She broke
it was
my
very that
heart.
style, I mean, that's where most people who learning to write start, You got to start from somewhere.
Is that why you bought the Hogwarts book over there to write your little scriptures
I
in?
sure did. Yeah. Well, no, actually, my lady got me that. That was
nice.
a little Christmas present from her, and because my other book I used for all kinds of scribbles and scrabbles and thoughts and ideas. And when I write a song, it's not just okay. I need a intro. All right, intro's done. Now verse, and it's actually a little more complex than that. I actually take, all right, what do I get from this song? For example, first song we wrote, Dead Winter.
Right.
And
you mean
hearing
Dark Winter?
You mean Dark World?
Oh,
Dead Winter. You motherfuckers.
I said it for the longest time. There was too many darks, and I was like, all right, this is just dark everything. We're just going to...
No,
I thought it was Dark Winter.
No, it's Dead Winter.
I thought it was Dark Figures.
That's still... This dyslexia is running rampant
there's
out
a
here.
theme with
There's
metal
a theme
right
here,
now.
yeah.
Dead, dark.
What'd you say, Mike, when I first walked?
Dead,
Why are you
dark,
always
and
wearing
dumb.
black? And I was like, I'm colorblind. I thought it was white.
It goes with everything.
Yeah. What
No.
color's black? All the colors.
Yeah. No, but when I was writing Dead Winter, immediately that song is very ominous and very creepy, and in the way that it builds, and it's just this powerful medley. You know, it's just like and you just that slow rock. You know, and I love that. And I was like, okay, what do I get from this? And I kind of had a little bit of like, oh, I don't know. And I'm kind of anxious because I don't want to fuck it up either. Because I'm like, this is my chance to prove that I can do what I fucking do. And I've been writing for so fucking long. Pull it out of the bag, motherfucker. Yeah. And it was winter. And it was dumping snow that night. And I'm sitting there on the foot of my bed and I'm listening to the recording over and over and over and over on my phone. And I just immediately thought about, wow, you know what's really creepy also, aside from this kind of ominous intro, is the way, how when you think about a deep snowfall for people who live in the mountains. Yeah. When it's just dumping snow, it's the most fucking quiet you'll ever hear.
That's my
and that was where I drew that inspiration from. Yeah. Because the intro, the song is behold the coming storm, dark skies sheathing light, pale flecks begin to swarm, doom starts the deadly plight. And so it's all tied to that, like that ominous being out in the winter in the tundra and just, fighting for survival. Right. And, false hope sets the stage. Pyres fail from bitter cold. A wave of doubt begins to rage. Dead winter now unfolds.
Yeah, that's great.
And it just
great.
Getting like Revenant vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
And then I wrote a song called Revenants.
Yeah,
which was an idea based on, and I saw that movie and I was like, man, I really like that word. That's such a cool fucking word.
That is a great word.
And you can take it, it literally means to come back from the dead. Right. That's what Revenant means. And I didn't want to do zombie apocalypse. I had already done that. Yeah. I had another song I wrote with Seductive Rage called Welcome to Zombieland. Yeah. And that was just one of those fun songs I wrote because we were going to play the Zombie Crawl in Reno.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my first. I played at Davidson's.
Oh, okay.
That was fun.
Great venue.
So that song ended up being one that we loved the most, and we ended up recording it. So that's on SoundCloud. So.
Oh, hey, listen to that.
You can.
I should go cue that up.
You should, because I haven't even heard it. I actually want to hear it.
It was definitely, it was one of those like, all right, I just want to have fun with it. I don't want to get too in depth with messaging. I just want to be like, I just wanted to be brutal. I wanted to be fun. I wanted, I just wanted to have the elements of some, something that we could play and people just bang their fucking hits to.
Well, that song was definitely fit for that. Because I love that song, dude. That's such a good song.
But yeah, we had a great time because I when we came down to the studio and I was like, all right, and I showed you guys. And one of my favorite things to do is to be like, here's what I wrote. Yeah. And I'm always open to feedback.
By the way, you have beautiful handwriting.
I write like a little. I write like I'm writing in a book.
Yeah.
And yes,
I
write like
it's very nice.
For sure.
Bro, your handwriting is
immaculate.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like calligraphy, but that's your every kindergarten teacher's dream.
Oh yeah,
pretty much.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Which means you'll never be a doctor.
No joke. I took that very seriously when I was younger because I was like, I want to write so that people can read my handwriting. Because I was in like 4th grade. Yeah. I remember we used to do these writing assignments, and then we'd do peer edits, right? And it was like, learn to peer edit, and you'd read other people's shit, and I'm like, I can't read
what
this.
What the fuck is this
Timmy,
word here?
What the fuck? What is that?
Timmy, what is this? It just says Timmy.
Come on,
the whole
Skylar.
thing.
Will you write like a normal person?
Right.
Yeah. No, it drove me nuts because then they're like, oh yeah, I can read yours just fine, and I really took that to heart. And
I love
that's like the perfectionist in me.
Yeah, so. I love writing. That's one of I love calligraphy, which shocks me when I hear that they're taking it out of school. Where they're not even teaching kids cursive now.
I mean, teach them to type and think. Hopefully, what's the name of that song again?
You still need the
Welcome to Zombieland.
Welcome to Zombieland. I'm gonna search.
It's if you look up Seductive Rage, it should pull up with our 3-song EP we recorded with Alan. It was one of his first paid gigs.
Oh yeah, we've worked with Alan quite a bit of times.
Alan's awesome.
He's great.
Sparks, Nevada. All right.
Oh.
I think I found it here.
Yeah, there it is.
Welcome to Zombieland. Should I? Should we take a listen?
We should.
Yeah, so
I
I
mean,
could. I need
Let
to.
me get this set up here. Are we gonna take a? How long is this song? I'll tell you how long you've got. I don't know.
It's like 3
minutes and 30 seconds.
All right,
So I'm gonna
that's perfect
kick this
time.
off.
Yeah. Doing great. See?
So that was Welcome to Zombieland. That was Seductive Rage. Ryan's what number band was that?
That was 2.
Number
Oh,
two.
we have
Number
ads
2
on SoundCloud. Thank
Like
you, SoundCloud,
officially number
Thank you,
2.
SoundCloud.
Oh, you know what?
for the ads.
I need another water. God damn it.
Just filling up that bladder.
Yeah. I drink a lot of liquid.
I need a porta-john in the.
I'm staying hydrated.
Get a porta-john in the old garage for the older men.
We do,
apparently.
yeah, we do.
I'm wearing a diaper.
Oh man.
So hey, what do you think about this whole Joe Rogan Neil Young thing? I mean,
who?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. You don't know Joe Rogan?
No. I know Joe Rogan. No, it's
weird. It's a whole.
I think
weird
it's dumb.
scenario.
I mean, here's the bottom line. Look, it's no different than, in my opinion. I mean, take Ricky Gervais, right, when he was at the Oscars, talking about.
Who the hell is that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, I'm dead serious.
You-
What did you say his name was?
Ricky Gervais. You don't know Ricky Gervais?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you're uncultured swine.
Yeah. Sorry, I live in a fucking
No, he's
cave.
a great comedian, and he's actually one of the creators of the original Office from the UK.
Oh,
the original
Well,
Office.
that's probably why he's from the UK.
But super funny dude. But he hosted the Oscars, and he made that what he was talking about, like, just get your ass up here, accept your fucking award, and get the fuck off.
Oh, I
like,
know.
You know, coming out here and trying to spill your
Nobody wants to hear about your message. Just
Right.
take your little
no,
guy.
Yeah, okay. I do remember watching that video. That's
Yeah,
I didn't know his name, but I know him.
and it's like, look, as a musician, yes, you have an audience, and you have an opportunity to share information and your beliefs, right? But when it comes to something that is, tearing the world apart right now, because there's ups and there's downs and there's this and people saying that, and everybody just doesn't know where to fucking get their information from.
Yeah, but the fight is not even about music, though.
No,
that's my
that's
thing.
the problem.
Like,
It's not about music. It's
Yeah.
about something entirely out of their realm of understanding.
Oh, it's just straight. What are they saying? Misinformation.
Misinformation.
And
right.
and then so they want these guys. This is what kills me is like keep on rocking in the free world.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
That's the only song most people know.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like censorship.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon Music because Jeff
It really
Bezos
goes
is
against what your song is about.
Yeah.
The free world. But and what I did, I saw the video that Joe Rogan had put out where he was like, "Look, my intention was not for any of this, right?
Yeah.
And I am a
He's
fan
not.
of
He's
Neil
just
Young.
putting out
and-
information.
Yeah, well, he's
not saying
interviewing people.
He's not preaching up there and saying you need to follow these exactly to the point. And that's my thing. Don't listen to everything that's on the fucking internet. This is back when the internet first started. You don't have to fucking follow or listen to everything that. Take it in as information. Is it true? Dig into it and do some research on it. Like you don't need to go, oh well, this person said it, I must do it, or it's true, or false.
But that's
like,
the other side is where do you get your research from? Most people go to the fucking internet for
Google.
research, right? I mean, and I saw a post on social media that made me laugh because I was like, you know what, that's true. Is some people out there have never had to, pull reliable sources and pure edit and like a research paper, right? And it shows,
Yeah.
credible sources.
I'm guilty.
And
I'm
this
guilty of it.
But and it's just hard because a lot of people just are so reliant on certain outlets to get information, and if that's social media, I mean, again, you go to the internet, you have a lot of different people out there. You got trolls that are trying to tell you.
Just a lot of people with time on their hands.
Here's how you defrost your windshield,
Right.
and it's what the fuck are you telling people to do? And people are doing it, and that's because they can't tell the difference between common sense. They were never taught that, or
Right.
there are people that don't understand how that works,
Yeah.
and that don't have the common sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going to get people who are misguided, and people think it's funny. And it is kind of funny. I mean, it's funny to see people fail.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, there's fail compositions.
But again, you have to draw your own conclusions.
Right.
And that's the thing that I agree with most about the Joe Rogan show is he's bringing on experts. These people
these people
have degrees. They're credible in their field.
They put in the time on that field.
Yes. And so that's why they're on the show.
Yeah.
And it's not to say what they're saying that's truth, that's law, that's it right there.
No.
But it's to say, well, this is what this person has to say.
Right. They're just informing you of what they've learned throughout the many years they put into that research on that certain topic.
Right. And he even said, maybe the best thing to do is to have these people on that are, quote unquote, controversial.
Yeah.
And then immediately follow up with somebody that is on the opposite end of that conversation and interview them. And, and I think he does a really great job at not having a complete, utter bias on, like, this is how I feel, fuck what you have to say.
Right.
And he's very open-minded. And
He's very open-minded, and that's why I think we need those outlets to have that, because there's nothing, like, you're not going to get that type of information that Joe Rogan is putting out there on the news or anything. The news is all straight censored, and it's scripted. It's pretty much scripted.
Well, mainstream media for sure.
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
it's
Mainstream
very
media.
biased.
They just spelt the party line.
Well,
but,
that's
like,
what they're kind of like.
I mean, Joe Rogan literally has like people who believe in aliens and
Oh, yeah,
guy,
Dan
he just had a guy
Aykroyd.
at
Or the
Atlantis.
flat Earth guy.
What's his
Oh, yeah.
name from Blink 182 now?
Travis Barker.
No, the other one, the singer.
Tom.
Who like the alien guy now. He doesn't sing anymore.
Yeah.
He's looking for alien life on Earth.
Yeah,
and he's
Tom.
straight up they're here.
Yeah. Hey, by
Then-
all
then you'll
means,
have
go
a,
look for fucking aliens.
You know,
dude.
freaking physicist on.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane the amount of people he has on. But
Yeah.
we don't want to hear anybody's opinions that we don't agree with.
That's the thing is they don't agree with his opinions, and that's fine. You don't have to. That's you know.
That's the beauty of choice.
That's the beauty of choice.
Not in
yeah. and
2022
it's-
America, my friends.
But the hard part about when it comes to the beauty of choice is people are choosing to believe in misinformation because they feel that that's right.
Well,
then there's
what's
people-
misinformation though?
Well, exactly.
Not
Well, that's the thing.
disinformation.
Yeah.
What's
Is-
misinformation?
Let's
Like if they
say
had a detail of what they were talking about, like coming up and just not like putting in a box as this is all misinformation. We should just cancel them because of misinformation. They don't. There's no specifics or anything. It's
Yeah.
just misinformation. That's
Yeah.
it. That's a very broad
Yeah,
statement.
where was that in the 80s? with
Yeah.
Any article that wrote something and went, oh shit, we fucked that part up.
Right.
The True Hollywood story. We actually talked with these people. That's not true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and that's
You
that's the
and
thing. It's
tabloids.
It's true today.
Where's misinformation with the tabloids?
It's true to yeah right.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by it's true today?
It's
though?
true today, meaning like science hasn't figured it out yet, but this is the most we know right now.
Yes.
So here's what we're telling you. Like I don't even want to get into the whole beer, the Mexican beer cough.
Right.
Right. But like how much information has changed in the last 2 years? How much was conspiracy theory a year ago? Because it might have come from China.
Right.
Now it's like, yeah, it probably did. Right.
Or just even going back even further.
anything.
Go back to the old Western times. I mean, look at what they used for medicine back then.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Snake
oil.
snake oil, right? And that was a cure-all
Yeah.
and elixir.
Bullion.
And
And this is great
Got a
for
fever?
you. And then
everyone believed that
Yeah.
that was the way to
Everybody was
cure
taking
what
it.
you needed to cure.
You're
And-
possessed by demons,
and
and,
then
we're going
later
to
we
have
come
the
to find out,
leeches
ooh,
bleed you out.
actually,
Yeah.
cocaine's
Every
not
day-
good to put in Coca-Cola.
everybody's taking meth on horses.
So
Now
so
they
yeah,
realize
like
it's bad for you.
now that's not anything intentional. It's just
No.
and then 3 months from now we're like, hey man, oh wow, look at what we just found out. And
Right.
You're not allowed to have those conversations anymore though. When
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
you're canceled, bro. You're canceled. We're all canceled.
Yeah.
We're canceled.
That's what I don't get.
Don't believe everything on the internet. Yet
No.
we're on the internet.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but that's the thing is the beauty about having a podcast like Joe Rogan or any other podcast for that matter is the fact that you get a chance to, meet people, and he gets to meet all kinds of people,
Right.
and all walks of life, and he is a very, open-minded person of just, I'm curious. I want to learn about these things. I want to hear about it.
Right.
And he does do a lot of research. He does, if he's got an author, he's going to read their book.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to delve into what kind of research this scientist does
Right.
and kind of get an understanding of some articles they've written and go, oh, okay, so this is what this person's about.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to draw my own questions to, lead into the podcast and go, so what do you mean by that? Or how does that work? Or,
Right. But on the music side of things, why are they pulling all this music?
it's erroneous.
Well,
Who else is
I
on
think
there?
it's
Who
I think
else
it's
is on
money.
there besides Neil Young?
Joni Mitchell,
Joni Mitchell.
some
Who's
other
that?
some Joni another hippie.
Okay, so this is way back.
It's all these
So the hippie
50,
era,
60-year-old
this
artists, yeah.
fucking is hilarious. Okay, I was thinking about this. The hippie era. And this is a lot of the time where their music was big,
Freedom.
and they were coming up. Yeah, freedom, and now no censorship, and they're fighting the war
Yeah,
and
yeah.
protesting and everything. And now they're
fighting
going
for
back.
censorship.
Yeah, they're fighting for
It's
censorship.
like Rage Against the Machine is pro-government now. They're
Yeah,
like,
right, yeah.
Listen to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Killing
Yeah.
in the name of.
Yeah,
Shut
right.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking idiots.
Come on.
But
No, I think it's money, man. I think it's money. I think
Well-
they're all moving to Spotify music. They're like, okay, so wait a minute. We're going off of not Spotify. We're taking our music off Spotify, and then less than a week later, you're on Amazon.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, come on.
and how
yeah,
much
what? Yeah.
how much are people actually getting? Look at the money. Follow the money.
Yeah,
how much,
exactly.
How much are people getting paid when they come out with these controversies? When they come out with these oh, I feel very strongly about this, and it's like, whoa, motherfucker, right? And then it's like, ooh, that's gonna blow up.
I think Neil Young blew up.
and
He blew up on Apple Music. Like they gave him his own channel, so all of a sudden Neil Young's like #1 on Apple Music.
Are
so
you
he's
serious?
making money. Yeah, he's making money because
How is that?
Because people, Neil Young, I haven't heard that name before.
Yeah, but anybody under like 25 is not gonna give two shits about fucking Neil Young music.
But they never heard about him. Now they know Joe Rogan. They know, who's Neil Young? Let me listen to this guy.
right.
All right. Well,
Google Joe
name one
Rogan,
Neil
and I
Young.
guarantee you.
All right, you probably know. 'Cause
Keep
you're
on
old as
rocking
shit.
it. I can't sing it.
Ryan?
We get copyright struck.
Yeah. Do you know just title? Title. We don't need to go into it. Just title.
Hello.
What's up?
We have a visitor.
We have
We have a visitor.
But you were saying by title.
By title. If you name a title of a Neil Young song.
Rockin' in the Free World. That's
Is
the
that,
only
I
one
thought that was
know.
Bruce Springsteen.
No, that's
Bruce Springsteen was born in the USA.
yeah,
Oh,
born
that's
in
a-
the USA.
See,
yeah.
Exactly my point. Okay.
But that's the only
Can't
one
start
I
a
know.
fire. That I don't even know what that song's called.
Oh,
Can't start the
yeah, I know which one you're talking
Fire.
about. I'm gonna
Dancing
have
in
to
the
remember
Dark.
that.
Oh no, I was thinking of
I don't even know.
The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, which is fucking
Oh.
fantastic. Dude. Fire.
So, obviously, I mean, yes, there is a generation gap,
Mhm.
right? There are, people who know.
That's
Neil
my
Young
point, though. So
and-
Spotify. So if you listen to early, like the new, like a lot of it, the popularity right now is like the hip hop. I don't know if it's like coming out. Like it's not hip hop. What is it called now?
Mumble rap. I don't even
Mumble-
know.
Yeah, mumble rap,
right.
all that stuff. But
It's-
you getting huge hits on that.
It's in the
type of
genre,
stuff.
yeah.
Like Neil Young, you're not getting like billions of views on like Neil Young stuff. That's my point.
Yeah.
Not until last week.
That's weird to me. That's a trip to me. That's so weird.
But why isn't Neil Young on Joe Rogan? How about
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Why isn't
don't you
he a
sit down
guest
and
he had
on-
Ted Nugent on there, right?
sit down? I think so. Yeah.
Hey, remember we were talking about that, and I was like, Ted Nugent's next.
Well,
He was on there.
he's been on there though
no,
before.
yeah, but he's on
Ted
this
Nugent.
train though. He's on this train because I saw one of the after I told you guys, like the next day I saw like a thing that said Ted Nugent's jumping
Yeah.
on this bandwagon, and anyways,
That's weird.
yeah.
That's weird.
No, it's not weird.
And the
'cause I knew it was
the
gonna
Rock's
happen.
like, I'm gonna go on Joe Rogan. We're gonna drink tequila.
right, yeah, yeah.
Like okay, you can't. Okay, Joe Rogan and the Rock is like, I don't even. What do you call the union of the Rock and Joe Rogan, dude? It's like, is there a more perfect being for
Joe
pop
Rock.
culture?
You call it
Joe
Joe Rock.
Joe Rogan.
But yeah, I mean, it just yes, there is a generation issue, right? Because when you talk about what people believe in now as opposed to what people believed in before, time changes. Time changes everything. I mean, music. Look at the evolution of music over the last 30 years.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
from the 90s to now. Think about everything that's changed. Grunge,
Synthesizers.
pretty much no longer a genre.
Which I think should come back. I'm just going to put that out
I
there.
agree. I mean,
I
it
agree.
was definitely one of those like it was a
Like the Rush
revolutionary-
albums where they did the synthesizer stuff.
It was like a youth revolt type genre.
Yeah.
where it was like, fuck this, and
Yeah.
and
We'll
Alice
just
in
we'll bring
Chains
back
and
the hair or
all the-
anything or the
well,
outfits. As
it
wear.
was
Flannel.
Yeah.
flannel.
I know I'll wear
ripped
flannel.
up
I still wear
jeans.
flannel.
I mean, they got flannel ripped jeans now. And just there's no grunge.
No,
Right.
yeah,
They're
there's
very
just no-
happy about their
there's no
flannels
grunge.
and ripped
Yeah.
jeans.
Yeah,
Nobody's miserable.
it's ripped jeans, flannels, and a Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different vibe for these kids, though. I don't know. Not enough heroin. I don't know. The difference. Man.
They're
different
just not
drugs.
as depressed. What the
Is
hell?
it different drugs? Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe they're not.
yeah.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're all medicated. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Maybe
they took out Ritalin. That's what happened.
Weed's legal now, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh,
not everywhere yet. Not everywhere.
Oh no, yeah.
Working on it, but yeah. I mean, we'll see what comes of it. I mean, that would be cool to see Neil Young actually go and talk with Joe. I don't think it will.
It's not,
I don't think
especially
gonna
now. It's not
happen.
going to happen.
Not right now. No, it's not going to happen.
Especially because they got suits behind them. Definitely not going to let that shit happen.
Oh yeah. So
Even though it would probably blow up and then probably make a lot of money. Suits, are you listening? Let's make that happen.
Let's get on that.
Yeah, he's used to he's used to UFC matches. Let's make it a pay-per-view event, huh?
Oh man, yeah. I mean that's a trend, right?
Yeah.
YouTubers
some
fighting
chingazos.
random people.
Yeah, just
I like
random
it, dude.
people.
Just a couple mil, real quick.
Yeah, and then
Knock out.
let's have Mike Tyson host the fucking thing. That'd be fantastic.
I can't even. If I could do a Mike Tyson impression right
Oh
now.
yeah, I can't. Nerp.
Come on, Ryan. Let's hear your Mike Tyson. Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
That's serious.
Yeah.
No.
The greatest boxer of all time.
Dude, in his day though, have you
Greatest of all
watched the
time.
old Mike Tyson like matches on YouTube?
Oh, he's a
Dude,
beast.
Oh, yeah.
He's a beast.
I just watching those things, I'm fucking pissing in my pants because that dude could hit like a freight train, dude.
Oh, he was
Unreal.
scary.
It was scary.
Scary looking.
Well, even
I was
Joe,
like, it's-
even Joe Rogan said I made a bigger table after my interview with him because I'm like, fuck that. I
Yeah.
need some distance
Yeah.
between this dude.
This guy could still hit me from here,
Oh yeah.
just from the shock wave of his fist. Like
Monster.
unreal.
I wouldn't. I would. How old is he now? How old's Mike Tyson?
Old enough to kick your ass.
That's for sure.
Easy.
That's for sure. Is it worth $1 million? Would you do it for $1 million?
I would hit me.
Mike Tyson.
Dude, I'll fight with Mike Tyson. You give me $1 million, I'll fight with Mike.
Mike Tyson is 55.
Let's get it going.
He's 55.
I don't know.
He's still young though. That's pretty young. Not in the boxing world,
No.
but he's still young.
Oh yeah. He's still got time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, he's been around for a long time.
to do what?
dude.
I don't have time to fight.
Dude, we're totally getting off the music topic
Yeah.
right now.
It's
I know
okay.
this is supposed to be a music podcast, but we're gonna go on to a bunch of random shit.
That's right.
We're about we're an hour 45 into it.
I
at
know
this
we
point,
we
so,
love
like,
this. We'll sit here all day long and bullshit about crazy shit like this. So
Pour me another scotch.
yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, going back to where music has gone, evolved from, because I think that's an interesting topic too, because you got to think rock and roll in itself has only been around since what, the 50s, 40s.
Well, that's weird. Well, because there's.
I mean,
the
you can
evolution
argue.
of rock actually stemmed from the blues. So that's, there's a weird kind of shift from the blues to the rock.
Yes, and you could argue a lot of different, who invented rock and roll, and
Yeah.
I think one of the pioneers certainly was Chuck Berry back in the day with the way he played that guitar.
Oh yeah.
And just iconic.
Yeah.
And certainly Elvis is the king of rock and roll, but
Well,
he
he was
also
titled
popularized
that,
it.
yeah.
So
So
There was a lot of debate about that. Oh,
right.
yeah.
But he popularized it.
He's
He
just
brought
stealing
it
the
to-
music and making it his own.
Yeah, he brought it to everybody else.
Yeah.
And
But he got his moves from Forrest Gump. Remember that?
That's right. That's right.
I think rock really took off.
Hey,
Like,
well, show
the
me that
original
thing again.
Yeah, show me that little move you had there.
with TV when they were televised and there was more performance.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you talking
nationally.
about like MTV, like where they had
no,
music?
back
No,
in the,
back then.
back in the day.
Oh, where he was like
when
pushing.
a
yeah.
group or a band.
Who was
or
that? Who was
anything
doing
performed.
well, that was a lot of the talk show stuff. So they had
Yeah,
musicians
late
on the
night
talk shows. Who
shows,
was
things
the
like that.
I wasn't alive. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you were. I know you were.
No,
Don't say Johnny Carson.
no, it was older.
No, it wasn't Johnny Carson. It was
Okay. I was
before
gonna say, that's-
Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
This
Johnny
was-
Carson did have a lot
This
on
is before
there.
like Dick Clark.
But I'm
This is
talking
way
like-
back.
Oh yeah.
Like the Beatles were on there. Ed Sullivan.
Ed
Yeah,
Sullivan.
there you
show.
go.
Ed
Yeah,
Sullivan.
there you go.
Thank you.
Yep.
The Ed Sullivan show, like he had, the Beatles were on there, Elvis, the Monkees, the list goes on. But
So I would say that's when rock and roll.
I think that's when it actually took
was
off
rock and roll,
as,
yeah.
and they categorized it as rock
it
and
became
roll.
its own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but again, let's just take rock and roll in general, and because we come from the version of rock and roll, and so let's say it really took off in the '60s. Okay.
Right.
Beatles.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath. Led
Right.
Zeppelin. Bands like that. Right.
Yeah.
Freaking apexed in the 60s.
Apex. Yeah. Yeah. So just that, and then evolved, and nowadays you've got so many subgenres of metal that you can't even keep track of.
No.
I mean,
That's
you've
you
got,
go into the family tree
got
of like,
doom
all right,
metal,
rock's
death metal,
the trunk of it, and then you're
metalcore.
going out from there.
Yeah,
like-
you've got so many different subgenres of metal
Yeah.
and rock and roll and all that. it's so broken down, and it's like where do we evolve from here?
Well, where do you draw the line? I think is really where you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, is there something else? Or are we just gonna continue?
But do you want to
with that?
draw the line on creativity?
No, I'm talking about as titles go. So everything that we do is pretty much based on the category of rock.
Right.
So if you talk to anybody, it's like, oh, you're in like a rock band, even though we're playing not rock. It's technically metal or whatever the outside branches are on the genre.
Yeah.
So where is there something new? Like, and we're just not categorizing it into this new whatever it is, or are we just going to continue with everything's just kind of based on the rock side of things?
Next will be wizard glam metal.
But
for real, that's like every genre of music has its branches, and they branch off. And as technology improves, right, the sounds change, and then someone gets a little creative with this new sound or new technology, and then creates a whole new genre. And we just maybe we just don't have that next piece of tech yet. I mean, look at like the hip hop, for instance, and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
All this electronics, and all you need is a laptop, and you can record a hip hop album now. And be good.
Right. Yeah.
You still
that's a whole thing on the the DJ side. Like, that's a huge business. Like the DJ side of thing.
Well, you can kind of do DJing anywhere. You can do
because
it at a club. You can do it at a bar. You can do it from your home.
Who is that guy?
On the internet.
No, that guy.
I mean, it's.
Remember who was playing with
Mark Ribier.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Mark is a genius.
That guy is the next generation. I swear to God, that guy. He's out there. He's out there. I like weird people like that.
I'd love to see him live. That'd be a party.
Oh, I'd love.
I would hate to see him live, but I love
come to Reno, man. I'd be there. Just if he shows up in a bathrobe,
get your ass to Reno.
Yeah,
come to Reno.
Yeah.
You can sleep at my house, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you can have my money.
Just do a video. I don't even care. We'll film it. Be on the podcast. Hey, I want to get into. Yeah, actually, that would be great. Let's have him on the podcast because I want him to sit here. I want to dig into his brain.
Oh yeah, pick his brain apart
and find out what drugs he's on.
But here's another thing I was thinking about too. And when it comes to like our genre and also Dark Figures podcast, right? That was an idea because you and I are always known to wear black, right?
Yeah.
And I love the color. I love it. And it's bold and it's like, it's dark. And I've always been very intrigued by the mysterious and the weird,
the dark side
of things. I don't practice witchcraft.
No.
But it's interesting to hear about people who, witch trials and people who consider themselves Wiccans and stuff like that, right? Because those people are still around. They use herbs and
especially
they use
in
oils.
Mexico. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. And so there's cultures that still have witch doctors. They still have voodoo and things like that. And it's intriguing.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that and with our genre, how often is it always going to be a stigma of, the devil all the fucking time with our genre, and I get that so much. And it really,
I'm going to blame it on Motley Crue.
Maybe.
Too many pentagrams.
Maybe.
And shout out the Devils.
the imagery is cool, though. Like, tell me the imagery is not cool, right?
Well, that's what got me into, like, this whole, the whole dark side of thing is really, it wasn't anything except the artwork that came along with that. Like, the dark side of things, like the other, not what, I was the flower child and, like, everything's happy and go lucky. That's not reality.
No.
And I'm more based on a reality side of things where it is dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark. And when people put that in art, they come up with some amazing artwork, and I love art. And
well, it's funny because Jordan Peterson was talking on Joe Rogan, and he had a segment where he was talking about some of the most creative people in the world are covered in tattoos, they have piercings and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And if you did a forum where you did like a questionnaire of like, have you ever composed a song? Generally speaking, people are not that creative, but there are that select few that create music. They create artwork.
Yeah.
They are, painters. They are,
It's thinking outside the box.
Yes, and they're breaking the mold.
I guarantee
of the
Michelangelo is the same way.
I'm sure.
It.
I'm sure he had nipple
that study
piercings.
was like, it was surprising. Like 80% or more are not creative at all in any category.
That's so crazy
at all.
to me.
At
That's
all.
crazy. That statistic's crazy
Yeah,
to me.
just people just don't create things. They I mean, yeah. Oh, I draw pictures every once in a while. Yeah, okay, but that's not. You're not selling artwork, or I think that the platform was like, I do nothing in this form, to I'm internationally known in this category, right?
Yeah, but
and
that could be just an easy switch. Too.
I mean, when you say internationally known, that's a very small percentage of the population.
Yeah,
right. I mean, yeah, you could probably name dozens and dozens of actors, actresses, musicians, and things of that nature.
Yeah,
but that's a small percentage of the population on this earth.
Right.
And and what's interesting is how far the stigma goes, because it even goes back to the era of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll was known as the devil's music. Ray Charles.
Yeah. There's Elvis saying like,
that it was the devil's music because he took R&B, blues, and all that and mixed it with gospel music. And that was the devil's music. And there was a lot of people that protested listening to Ray Charles. Yeah. And
what was that John C. Reilly movie?
Walk Hard.
Walk hard.
Yeah.
I want to hold your hand. That's the devil's music.
Didn't he have a cocaine issue too? There,
who? John C. Reilly?
No.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Oh, I mean,
there was some definitely.
It was either cocaine or I think it was heroin.
Yeah, but who back then didn't have a fucking problem? That was
that was the rock star life too in the 80s. How many rock stars in the 60s? Oh, I mean, how many people overdosed?
How many are
60s?
Still alive? Keith Richards,
the
only one.
Bill Hicks.
That guy's like a cockroach.
You heard of the comedian Bill Hicks?
Bill Hicks,
Bill Hicks.
Real fucking high on drugs.
Oh yeah.
All your music.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and I mean, there's still always going to be that stigma, and does it bother you as much as it bothers me, or do you just kind of let it roll off, like whatever?
Like with the title, as like it's devil music, or
well, and it doesn't help. I mean, you also, I wear Black Craft clothing. That's one of my favorite brands too, and obviously with the pentagram, with the devil and stuff like that, and
I just like the reaction.
Me too.
I just like the reaction. Okay. It's not like I'm like worshiping the devil or anything. Right. Like I said, I like the dark side of the art side of the like the Day of the Dead, all that stuff. It's intriguing, yeah. And it kind of opens your mind a little bit to where you're not like. That's where people get closed in, where like they don't want to think about that side, and if they think it's bad, it's not a bad thing.
Well, it's kind of the reason that people like horror movies.
Yeah,
and I'm a huge horror movie fan.
Oh yeah,
I love horror movies, and I think they're entertaining, and it's okay to be like, freaked out by stuff, or intrigued by freaky stuff.
And a lot of people are like that. I mean, I go to Halloween Horror Nights almost every year.
Oh yeah,
and dude, it's packed each time. So it's not like it's not a small, like, people like to dig into it a little bit, but I don't think people really
take the time
to actually.
I think that's why I like your Marilyn Mansons and the people who have the whole goth metal makeup. That's like you got to show up in costume.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And those are always a huge crowd.
Oh,
they're huge crowds. There's a ton of people that are
like Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was like, he was like the pioneer of that. Like, the whole theater side of everything. It's not like he's
Bowie was too, for sure.
Exactly, but it's outside of that character that the guy plays. He's like in like a golf, golf getup, Rodney Dangerfield fucking cart and everything out there playing fucking golf and shit.
Gonna hit the links,
right? Yeah. So it's not like. And I think that's where people, like, as soon as they see something, they just kind of automatically put them, oh, this is how this person is. And that's not always the case. Yeah. Especially in music. Music is, like, where people just love to. It's always been, like, so the Twisted Sister thing.
Yeah.
Where they're putting in, like, oh, this is devil's music. And, like, they're just trying to, make our kids commit
censoring
suicide.
it for kids.
Yeah. It's not the case at all. I mean, there is some bands out there, don't get me wrong, there is the other side of that, where there is some bands that are like, these people, I mean, they are actually doing sacrifices in the green room right now before they're playing.
As long as they don't suck.
Right?
Yeah,
as long as it's good music.
It's good music. Fucking kill away, bro. Kill away.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
I'm not going to get too close to the stage.
Well, it's just funny because, like, I grew up, when I was a kid, I did go to church for years, and I was part of a Christian
Were you
church.
baptized?
I was.
I was too. And it scared the shit out of me.
Well, man, I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So I was able to swim.
Yeah.
So wasn't too panicky.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, and that was kind of the time frame where I was still listening to hip hop, a lot of mainstream stuff, and but then I started to evolve, and then I started drawing my own conclusions about things, and I guess I drifted away from the religious side of things, but I did find bands like The Devil Wears Prada, which is a Christian band.
Yeah, or,
and they're
As
very,
LA Dying.
They're and they haven't openly admitted that they're a Christian band or whatever, but
I thought they did. I swear they did.
Maybe.
I think they did a while
but
ago.
I know for sure because
we know how that story ends.
Well, yeah.
Where it's still going.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw him after he got out. It was a good show.
Yeah.
I like As LA Dying.
Yeah, the lead singer of As LA Dying putting a hit out on his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Went
it
to
didn't
prison.
happen.
Yeah, well, true, but you still attempted. There's still intent.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's bands like, like I said, The Devil Wears Prada, where they openly go, this is for our Lord and Savior.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. And then there's Under Oath, which is another big band that's openly about their faith, and Demon Hunter.
Really?
Well known to be a Christian faith band.
Holy cow.
Demon Hunter. So, I mean, there's bands out there like that. And it was weird because I'm like finding all these bands and
I like all those bands, and I didn't even know that side. I didn't know.
And that's the thing.
And that wouldn't change my perspective on them. I'd just go, oh, okay, they're on a different.
Yeah, and then from a lyricist side of things, I'm reading their lyrics and I'm learning about what their message is and stuff, and then I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, and of course, well-known POD.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes without saying, and then there was another band that I found.
Creed.
Well, you're not wrong. No, this band off Victory Records, Cyanide Beach. They were just like
that hardcore band?
It was a metal band.
Yeah.
They have a song, and I'm looking it up right now. I gotta remember. I'm pretty sure it's called "Necessary Bloodshed." And the cool thing about it is, at first I'm like, oh, that's heavy as fuck, right? That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's actually about the death of Christ.
Yeah, which is
Necessary
dark.
Bloodshed,
So
which
that
is
goes
a
back
dark
to the
theme,
the art side of
right?
things.
And
yeah.
so it's the verse is like, Lord, what more than little good has your death done? Lord, why did you give your son? And with metal vocals, sometimes the average listener is going to be like, what are they singing about?
Right, yeah.
What is they saying?
Or they're not even going to read the lyrics.
Devil's music. He's literally talking about Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And I think that gets blurred because of the genre.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that any metal band that is singing about Satanism or the devil or whatever is wrong, right? Because that's the beauty of freedom of speech.
I think
write
a lot
about
of
what
that
you want
goes
to
back
write.
to a lot of things that I was saying. Like, I think it's more of a theater side.
Well, and it is, but there's lots of bands out there putting out very positive messages to their listeners, and because
with
it also
eyes wide open. I know, I get it.
You're not settled.
Can you take me higher?
Yeah.
So,
We're gonna get copyright taken.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be.
It's done.
We're red flag for sure.
We're gonna take the whole
Yeah,
video
it's
down.
okay.
We're not monetized anyway. So
Nobody's
No,
listening
it's
for
okay.
this.
donate
anyway.
to Dark Figures podcast.
like they're still
Bitcoin.
They're still talking.
Dogecoin.
2 hours later. How long can they go? We'll do a 6-hour podcast right now.
we'll be here all day.
We take Monopoly money. Whatever
Yeah.
you got, we'll take.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll work for beer.
On that note, not a lot of our listeners know this, but obviously we're on a lot of different platforms. We're on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching us on YouTube, I mean,
It's really choppy right now, but you can watch us on YouTube.
You can watch us on YouTube.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
But you also have you can chat with us and send us suggestions.
Please do chat with us. Let us know what
Absolutely. If
you
you
bring
guys-
something into the to the mix.
Yeah,
we
you got
want to know
some-
your perspective on everything.
Yeah, you got something to add to the conversation, let us know. Or if you got a suggestion of somebody we should have on the podcast, let us know too.
Or if you want to be on it.
or if you want to be on it.
Yep.
And tell us why.
Yeah.
No, but then you've got Spotify. So when we're done here, it'll get uploaded up to there, so you can watch it at any time as well.
Hear it.
Or
You
hear
listen
it,
to
hear it, hear it.
You hear it, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
But,
not gonna see much.
We're doing audio on Spotify.
Yeah, it's okay. And then, but Twitch is another version that you have an opportunity to watch us on. We stream on, and what's really cool is it gives you an opportunity. If you're a member, you can watch and you can donate to the podcast, and gives you an opportunity to help us grow this show, so that we have better video, better quality of
Better love
audio,
sacks.
and all that good stuff. Yeah, love sacks to sit on.
Yeah, we get another table.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can see from the video we definitely need money for cameras.
Yeah, we,
Yeah.
so we
you know,
need help.
We definitely
We're
need
begging right now.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Let's-
begging.
We're above that.
Yeah.
We don't care. You don't care.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. Come on.
But yeah, so for everybody who listened in today, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend.
Yeah.
We got another episode coming up next week. We'll let you know. We may do it on Friday if you want to join us in on the stream. But we will keep you in the loop. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
Any shows this weekend? We got anybody playing?
This-
Anything happening locally?
Not this
coming
current
week.
weekend. I don't think so. This weekend.
I know we have FTR is Soulfly on the 12th.
Yep. That's not
So-
not next weekend, but the weekend after.
Is it next weekend?
Oh, it is next weekend.
Yeah,
No,
it
you're right.
is.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's why we're
What
doing
day
the
is
Friday.
I don't
That's
even
why
know.
we're doing the Friday.
That's
Hey.
right. That's right.
Holy shit, it's the 5th.
Yeah.
It's the 5th today.
It's the 5th. Oh,
The 5th.
yeah. I got things I got to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
But thank you all for joining us.
And we will have Tim also back on.
Yep.
So if you were interested in listening to Tim's story, which he has a bunch, and he will, we will talk with him on another day. We'll have to reschedule.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
Leave a comment, like, subscribe, love, welcome, thank you, and all that crap. I'm going to do this thing right here.
Oh yeah, do that.